That's unbelievable.
It was tough.
Talk sports after hours with Tommy Lugauer, 7 to midnight. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station. Evan Roberts, Tiki Barber. It's Evan and Tiki on WFAN, The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
A Tuesday, the 13th edition of Evan and Tiki. Welcome in on this fine Tuesday morning. Evan Roberts, Tiki Barber for the next 4 hours. I got a very busy show today. Today's Mike McCarthy Day. We'll check in on the Giants' chances of hiring him, plus tailor the tape. We'll analyze the competition for John Harbaugh. But there are some things in sports that happen over and over and over again. For example, here in New York, the Jets always suck. It happens over and over again. Yankee fans, you'll have a good regular season, and then at some point, you're going to have a big postseason disappointment. It happens over and over again. Last night, it was the same thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers are playing a playoff game. The Pittsburgh Steelers offense does nothing. The Pittsburgh Steelers lose. Steeler fans want Mike Tomlin fired. Aaron Rodgers has an early playoff exit. Honestly, Teak, it's the same thing every year. And again, the Steeler fan wants Mike Tomlin sent away.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if Mike Tomlin wants to go away. Because think about this. You go back to Mike Tomlin's career when he came to Pittsburgh, kind of out of nowhere, gets this job, has really immediate success, ends up winning a Super Bowl. Bruce Arians, my buddy, family basically, is his offensive coordinator. He leaves. And then from that point on, it's Todd Haley, Randy Fichtner, who was after him? Matt Canada. Then you get Arthur Smith. It's been this ineptitude of offensive issues. Part of that is their quarterback. Like, they just can't have success without a viable quarterback. And as soon as Ben Roethlisberger retired, they're just searching forever for quarterbacks, but they're never going to pick high enough to get a quarterback because they're always in the postseason. And from a Pittsburgh Steelers standpoint, fan standpoint, I get the frustration, but I can also see the frustration for Mike Tomlin. This almost feels like a Sean Payton situation where he knows that it's come to the end and he needs to take a break, wants to take a break, reset, go do television for a year, and then come back into coaching. It just feels like this is the end, and I have no intel on that, but this feels like this is the end.
And you think it's the end because Mike Tomlin's done, right? Not as much like, that the Steelers are done.
How often, because think about if you're Mike Tomlin, you're grinding, you're banging your head as hard as you can to get this thing happen, and then you hit the same situation every year, same wall every year. So it's just you're banging your head over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. How are you getting your quarterback?
They're not.
Exactly. You got to keep trying to find the Aaron. Last year it was Justin Fields.
Yeah. And Russell Wilson.
Right. And this year, it's Aaron Rodgers. How are you finding your quarterback? They're not drafting a quarterback. They're never going to get high enough to draft a quarterback. Okay, you can go get a free agent that's disgruntled, like, I don't know, Joe Burrow. There's no way in hell the Cincinnati Bengals are letting Joe Burrow go to Pittsburgh. And so what other veteran can you go pine for that's going to make you a viable championship-level team? The answer is no one.
Right.
And so Mike Tomlin is a realist. He's a real dude, right? He is that guy. He can't be looking at this and saying, oh, yeah, there's some optimism here. I see this going forward. This is our path. He's probably looking at this saying, next year, we'll win 9-10 games, be exactly where we are, and lose again in the postseason because we don't have a quarterback.
Right.
We don't have someone who can lift us and take us where we need to go. This isn't an indictment on Aaron Rodgers, even though it is an indictment on Aaron Rodgers. This is just a situation with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So to me, this feels like the end for him.
Well, it's interesting to look at that
in
perspective.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Because the perspective I think most of us have, and you hear it from callers, because the Steelers are like the extra local team. The Steelers and the Cowboys are like the extra local team in New York, because there's so many Steeler fans who live here, Cowboy fans who live here, and you hear it all the time from Steeler fans. It's time to move on. And it's interesting that you come from the perspective, well, if you're Mike Tomlin, isn't it time to move on?
Right.
Isn't it time to say, you know what? I've been here for 19 years. I've given everything I have to this franchise. Where is the future? If I'm not finding that quarterback, and you're right, how are you finding that quarterback? It may behoove Mike Tomlin, and you've been saying this for months. Every time I bring up Tomlin's name as a breakup inevitability, you always say, yeah, even if they break up, though, he's going to sit out a year. And that's probably best for him.
Right.
And not only is it best for him, let's talk about the other team in town. It's best for the Jets.
Right. He's unavailable for the Giants, so you can't pine for the Giant fans. But for the Jet fan, this now gets interesting.
Well, think about it from a Giant perspective real quick, and then we'll bring in the Jets.
Right.
If there is a breakup this week between Tomlin and the Steelers, whether it's Mike's choice or Pittsburgh's choice, or it ends up becoming a mutual breakup,
right,
I don't think the timing works for the Giants.
No.
They're pursuing John Harbaugh. They may have to trade for Mike Tomlin, assuming how this plays out.
He's under contract, right, Sean?
He's under contract this season, and then there's a team option that the Steelers have to decide on for 2027 by March 1st. So Pittsburgh has to make a decision on Tomlin, not for this next year, but for the year after. And you're right. If Tomlin goes to ownership and says, hey, look, I'm done, the Steelers could play hardball and say, no, you're not. You're under contract.
Right.
So I think the timing for the Giants just makes it a real challenge.
Doesn't make sense.
As much as I get why a Giant fan would say, hey, I prefer Mike Tomlin over John Harbaugh. And you've been saying it for a while. And I believe you've been saying it because you have some kind of knowledge on this. And that is, if there's a breakup with Tomlin, he sits out a year. Well, if he sits out a year, that is perfect for us as Jet fans.
Right. This is the Sean Payton path.
Yes. It allows Mike Tomlin to make a ton of money on TV. It allows Aaron Glenn to get another year, and we'll see what happens. If Aaron Glenn has a great year next year, fine. We're not talking about Mike Tomlin. But if Aaron Glenn has the likely disastrous year, too, where they go 3-14, all of a sudden, Mike Tomlin comes in, he cleans house, he changes the culture, Woody gives him $30 million a year, and it's perfect. Right. And we can reignite the Tomlin-Harbaugh wars in New York, the Battle of MetLife Stadium.
2027 they play.
They do. So I think if there is a breakup, that is actually perfect for the other team because it allows him to sit around, watch, enhance his value, and gives the Jets a chance a year from now to possibly improve on their head coach.
Because just like Bill Cowher, when Bill Cowher retired, it was for very different reasons. Obviously, we all know this because his wife was ill. Everybody thought he was coming back, that he was taking a personal mental health, family break. And for the next decade, it wasn't like 2 or 3 years. It was like a decade in the pining for Bill Cowher, who went to TV and has been there now for 19 years?
Yeah.
Because he's been there as long as Mike Tomlin's been the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But for a decade, Bill Cowher was the hottest coach available every offseason.
He could have had any job he wanted.
Any job. And so if Mike Tomlin decides to walk away or the Steelers decide to move on from him, he can go do whatever he wants for a year, 2, 3, 4, and then come back whenever he's ready to coach again.
Yeah, I mean, he could wait until the next Giants head coaching cycle as well. I mean, not to say that the Giants are going to have a failed head coach, but to your point about Cowher, he was able to sit there for a decade and a half and be like the #1 coaching candidate out there. And what's funny about Bill Cowher is when he walked away from Pittsburgh, he was 49 years old. Mike Tomlin's 53.
Right.
So which is crazy to think that Tomlin is 4 years older than Bill Cowher was when he walked away from Pittsburgh and never came back. I think the breakup's inevitable, and I have felt that way for months. I didn't know how it would end. I just knew it wouldn't end with a championship.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know if they were going to make the playoffs or not. I think I had predicted that they wouldn't. His streak of finishing above 500 would finally end. But you watched last night's game, and I got to tell you, even though it was low scoring and C.J. Stroud fumbled the football about 18 times and the Texans should have won this game 55-3, I found last night's game so wildly entertaining.
Really?
I did.
How come? Because of the ineptitude of Aaron Rodgers?
It was, yes.
I mean, it felt like he had no idea where to throw the football.
Yes. It was miscommunication all the time. He's yelling at everybody.
Every single snap, it felt like somebody was on the wrong page.
And to defend him a little bit, because I'm being honest, How did the Pittsburgh Steelers run game look on first down? I mean, they were basically 2nd and 12 every single time.
Yes.
Whether it's Kenneth Gainwell getting picked off for a 2-yard loss or what have you. So it wasn't just Aaron Rodgers, but watching the dominance of the Texans defense, I found that to be fun to watch. That's number one. Number two, all the mistakes C.J. Stroud made as the Texans are marching down the field at will, and then Pittsburgh never being able to take advantage of it. You know, we talk about turnovers. The first C.J. Stroud turnover, Steelers get the football at their own 44-yard line, 3 and out.
Right.
The second time they get the ball, this was probably the best exhibition of great defense. They got it on the Texan 21-yard line, and the Steelers had a 7-play, 2-yard drive that led to a field goal. And then finally, the last CJ turnover, which was so brutal because it was in the red zone, they got the ball at their own 4-yard line. They got 1 first down and had to punt again. So they were unable to take advantage of all the Texan mistakes. So the game was close. It was entertaining. And then when the Texans blew it open in the fourth quarter, as Aaron Rodgers is getting strip sacked and pick sixes, yeah, I have to admit, I found some joy in watching Aaron Rodgers struggle. If I'm not going to have success, I want everyone else to fail.
You are such a hypocrite and such a piece of work. Forget
Why?
the Rodgers stuff for a second. That game last night was a lot like a wedding after party. All week, you're like, you know what, I'm looking forward to this. And then you get there and you're tired and it sucks and it's not that good.
Oh, to completely disagree.
And you know why, Evan?
Why?
Because you fought with me during Cinco de Lunch show yesterday that Bears-Packers wasn't the best game of the week and it was Jags-Bears. And you said, well, I remember Saturday I watched all these games. It was the best way to watch it. You were a part of this in real time last night. Now you're overinflating the playoff moment. It was the worst game, most boring game of the weekend.
It was a terrible game.
Why? Because the Texans played brilliant defense?
No.
And it made the Steelers look incompetent?
Because it felt, even though it was 7-6 at halftime.
And it was 10-6 in the fourth quarter.
10-6 in the fourth quarter. It felt uncompetitive.
Correct. Not all 10-6s are created equal.
That's right.
No,
The Steelers felt inept on offense.
No, I agree, because think about, and I just gave you the examples of what they did with Texan turnovers. They were unable to take advantage of it. They could never move the football. They were set up in 3rd and longs constantly, which is why they were 2 for 12 on 3rd down or whatever they were. But it was still a close game. And I still found the struggles of Aaron Rodgers, especially when he yells at people. I found it incredibly entertaining.
Right.
Now, does this give me the ultimate joy as a Jet fan that Aaron Rodgers failed? Not the ultimate joy. But last night when I'm sitting there watching a football game,
you're done.
Yeah.
You don't get to walk off into the sunset, Aaron Rodgers.
And I also think like the speculation around Rodgers and Tomlin is also fascinating. You know, you mentioned that Tomlin.
Because whatever Mike decides to do, the question is now, what does Aaron Rodgers decide to do?
See, the Rodgers thing is more whatever. Like, he'll retire, he won't retire, he's not going to let us know for 3 months. Mike Tomlin's one of the best coaches on the planet.
Yeah.
And so Mike Tomlin becoming available, whether it's in the short term, probably not, or the long term, as you painted it, is absolutely fascinating because it could help my team and many other teams over the next couple of seasons. And then it also leads to, what do the Steelers look like? In my lifetime, they've had 2 head coaches. I don't remember Chuck Noll.
No.
But even if you
either.
go past Bill Cowher, Noll, Cowher, and Tomlin, they've had 3 coaches in 60 years.
Right.
So them...
It's unreal.
It really is. So them
We've
moving
had 3
on...
coaches in 5 years.
I know. So them moving on is like... very appealing. Now, Mike was asked last night after the loss about his future, and you would expect Tomlin did not want to go into detail on what his plans are. But here's the question to Coach Tomlin. What do you think about your future in Pittsburgh?
I'm not even in that mindset as I sit here tonight. I'm more in the mindset of what transpired in this stadium and, certainly what we did and didn't do. Not a big picture mentality as I sit here tonight.
Can you read out of that? Does that sound like a guy who's like done in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I don't know. Mike Tomlin he's very hard to read. Always. I remember the only time, because I never called any Pittsburgh games during my time at CBS, but I did when I worked for NBC cover their Super Bowl. And so it was actually really cool because I got to spend time out and with him and doing some interviews and just talking about his career. And I remember on game day, I was like, Mike, where's your puffer jacket? Because you always used to wear that big jacket. You know that big jacket. You just look like a badass on the sideline. Like, don't mess with me in an alley. And he said, basically, he's like, no, not today, Teak. I got work to do. I was like, damn, they're going to win this game.
That's serious Mike Tomlin.
It was serious Mike Tomlin. So that felt like serious Mike Tomlin. Not like, I got it all under control. I have this. It felt like I have some real thinking to do.
It feels like this could be a standoff between two parties that are ready for divorce, but no one wants to say, I want to get divorced. And I've never been in a part of a divorce, and I wonder if that's how it goes, where the man's ready to move on, the woman's ready to move on, but no one wants to actually say it.
Right.
But I think when you look at the current situation in Pittsburgh, where every year they're in the playoffs, every year they're good, but they always fall short, as much as that sounds great for us as Jet and Giant fans, I get why in Pittsburgh, whether you're Mike Tomlin, you're the ownership, or you're the fans, you say, enough of this.
Yeah.
I've got to try something different. The other thing is Rodgers, and I don't know if he's going to come back or not. I don't know if he's going to bounce around the league or if he's simply going to retire. But here are the facts about Aaron Rodgers, and I'll include the Steelers, the Jets, and the Green Bay Packers in this. When Aaron Rodgers arrives to a team, he hasn't made a huge difference.
No.
When he came to my team, the Jets were 7-10. He got hurt. He barely played. They went 7-10. Then the year he was finally healthy, they went 5-12. Now, I'm not blaming that all on Rodgers. The defense obviously went backwards, but the results are the results.
Right.
They went from a 7-win team to a 5-win team. The Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2 prior years to Rodgers getting here went 10-7 and lost in the first round of the playoffs. What happens this year with Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh? They went 10-7 and lost in the first round of the playoffs. You look at Green Bay, his final year there, they went 8-9. They move on from him. What have they done since? Well, they're basically in the playoffs every year.
Right.
So, unfortunately for Rodgers, at this point in his career, that's kind of what's happened to him. It's not making teams better.
He's the reliable, good starting quarterback who's going to do what he's supposed to do. But he's not the difference maker that's going to win you a game off of his acumen, his mind, his playmaking ability. That's not what's happening in the postseason. It used to be, but it doesn't feel like that's anymore at the Aaron Rodgers that's playing from age probably, 36 to age 41. It's just a different Aaron Rodgers. Part of it's health. It's the game is changing. It's probably the relationships with these younger skill position players. Hell, he's probably older than some of the coaches. So it's just
he's the same age as DeMeco Ryans.
Right.
He was coaching against Rodgers last night.
Right. So it's just sometimes it just passes you by and you don't realize it. And I think maybe that's what's happening with Aaron Rodgers.
Does he play next season?
I don't think so.
So that was his final game?
I don't know who wants him.
Oh, I think somebody would want him. I think the Minnesota Vikings would want him.
So Aaron Rodgers is going to end his career being basically pushed out of Green Bay, being laughed out of New York, and being dismissed from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
If you want to continue to play football, if that's your goal, then yeah.
But why?
Because you love to play the game? Because you just can't get enough of it? Because you know once you walk away, it's over? Unless you try the Phillip Rivers comeback, as Troy Aikman alluded to last night at the end of the game? Like, if you just love the game so much, you keep playing, even if, yes, you're being discarded wherever you go.
That I feel like we're heading towards the direction if he retires, a quarterback gets hurt in September or October next year, and then the buzz gets Rodgers is coming to play.
But does he do it? Does he pull the trigger the way Phillip Rivers did?
I think only if that's... Now, remember, Rivers is 5 years after. I don't think Rodgers is waiting 5 years. I think next year, yeah, I do. If a quarterback gets hurt and a team calls, I think he's coming out of retirement.
We'll get your calls next, 888-808-1019. The Steeler fans are done with Mike Tomlin. Is Mike Tomlin done with the Pittsburgh Steelers? And Jet fans, did you get some joy last night watching Aaron Rodgers struggle and get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs? It may not have been like celebrating a Super Bowl, but I admit, I sat back last night and had a good time. We'll get to your calls coming up, 888-808-1019. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires. From Connecticut to Maine, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. This portion of the program is sponsored by your local Mazda dealer.
Make the smart choice, the Mazda CX-5. With standard all-wheel drive, advanced safety, and effortless handling, there's more to a Mazda than meets the eye. Lease your 2025 Mazda CX-5 for only $209 a month and elevate your journey wherever the road takes you. Visit your local Mazda dealer or MazdaUSA.com.
Regular season battles in football. Off-season moves in baseball. The Yankees, Mets, Giants, and Jets all live here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
Hey,
Hockey fans, now with BetMGM, you can win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets when your anytime goal scorer nets 3. Enter BetMGM's Hat Trick Jackpot all season long for your chance to win some major bonus bets. It's easy. Just log in and opt into the promotion. Then make an anytime scorer bet on any hockey game of at least $10. If your player of choice scores 3 goals instead of just 1, you'll win your share of the $10K in bonus bets. There's nothing quite like watching a game with a hat trick, especially when it means you could win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are bonus bets that expire in 7 days.
At Nielsen, fun is in the driver's seat.
Your best year starts with a savings. Don't miss the January Jumpstart event at Nielsen Dodge.
That's right, Chels. We're ready to start your new year with low lease payments to get you driving.
Lease a new 2026 Dodge Durango GT Plus all-wheel drive Hemi V8, just $299 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4, just $359 a month. Or choose from hundreds of quality certified pre-owned vehicles.
With 0 down payment and the credit help you deserve.
Come see all the great savings we've lined up so you can start your new year driving happy and hassle-free. Let the fun begin.
On Route 10 in East Hanover. Online at NielsenDodge.com. A proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
At Nielsen Dodge.
Fun is in the driver's seat.
Start something new sales event. With approval term Durango 36, Ram 42 months due at sign, Durango 55.99, Ram 59.54 at tax tag 498 dock and DMV fees.
This is Tiki Barber. You definitely don't want your heating system to fail this winter. So call my friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts. Have them check your heating system before it breaks. I know Edison Heating and Cooling. They can fix anything. Go now to edisonhvac.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Metro New York. Ready for real savings? Switch to Allstate today. Because drivers who switched saved an average of $713 on their auto insurance. So, what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for an auto insurance quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. Based on the national average annual savings for new customers surveyed in 2024, savings vary, subject to terms and availability.
My name is Maria. Okay, I lied, it's Mary. But I'm feeling more European after my European-style holiday on MSC Cruises. The restaurants, nightlife and shops in La Galleria. And of course, American touches, like a sports bar and water slides. Bellissimo. Okay, this is a problem.
Book now and cruise from $199 plus up to $500 onboard credit and kids sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit MSCCruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
When Legends Meet is back again at Teller's next door on Thursday, January 22nd. So join me, Boomer Esiason, along with Sean O'Hara, Greg Buttle, and Greg Giannotti for an incredible night benefiting my foundation for cystic fibrosis. The evening begins at 6:30 p.m. with cocktails and photos, followed by a surf and turf dinner that is awesome. A full breakdown of the 2 conference championship games led by Gio, all in one of the most beautiful private event spaces on Long Island. Tickets available now at tellerschophouse.com.
Hey, it's Tiki here. I'm constantly on the go between the fan, taking care of my kids, various events, meetings, football games. The list goes on and on and on. But one of the things I value most is feeling safe and also knowing that my family is safe when I'm not with them at home. That's why I turn to our great partners at Sloman's Home Security to install their innovative ShieldLink system in my own house. The Sloman ShieldLink system is a smart home security solution that easily and seamlessly combines safety, convenience, and most importantly, peace of mind. Whether Whether I'm home or away, I can manage anything right from my phone. My security system, home automation, my entertainment system, everything is right there at my fingertips. Our security lighting turns on as soon as we turn our alarm system on. So whether we're home going to sleep or away, we know that we're safe and our home feels protected. Just give them a call at 1-800-ALARM-ME or visit online Slomans.com to learn how Sloman ShieldLink can give you peace of mind in your home and when you're on the go, just like me.
Looking for the best value on new tires? Get to Town Fair Tire. We honor every valid manufacturer's and competitor rebates and give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Zona? Is that a word? In the 2026 Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid, it might as well be, because it can be one road trip. It's all about turbocharged power and hybrid efficiency working together, so you get the thrill of quick acceleration and the satisfaction of fuel efficiency. Book a test drive and keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Who will stay? Who will go? Big questions loom for the Yankees and Mets this offseason. Get the latest here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
Well, we'll find out in the next, I'd say 24 to 36 hours, if Mike Tomlin remains in Pittsburgh for another year or if there's going to be a breakup. And if there's a breakup, that means there would be 9 head coaching openings, which is insanity.
Wow. I was going to say, when was the last time we had that many?
I think it's the record. I was doing research during the last commercial break.
Really?
The most ever NFL coaching vacancies in an offseason, and the most I've ever seen is 8, which is where we're at now. So if Pittsburgh has an opening, I think we're looking at an NFL record.
Crazy. This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. It was a brutal night for Rangers and Nets fans alike last night. The Rangers continue to be hopeless without Adam Fox and Igor Shesterkin as Seattle got it cracking at the Garden last night with a 4-2 victory. The Nets, meanwhile, had Cooper raise a Maverick flag, dropping 27 on Brooklyn last night as the Nets fell to Dallas 113-105. Both the Nets and Rangers fan bases may, in fact, start to make vacation plans for May.
Well,
already.
Forget the Nets for a second. They're tanking.
Good wordplay out there, Sean, by the way.
There were fire Drury chants last night. The Rangers had an early 2-0 lead. They ended up losing 4-2. They're one of the worst teams in hockey. Are you ready to dead them, Sean? Are you ready to bury him and say the season's over?
Season's over. Gutless planning by Chris Drury, thinking Connor McDavid would just simply walk to Broadway. I don't understand. Get James Dolan back in here with the scarf, McMonagle, and let's re-ask him if Chris Drury's safe. Building what exactly?
He said they had to change the culture.
Yeah, well, the culture sucks.
Yeah.
And I think we are getting close. We could say this within a week, that the New York Giants are, in fact, closer to a championship than the New York Rangers.
I think you could probably say it right now. I don't think that's crazy. I mean, neither are close, but yeah, I think most Giant fans, and you certainly fit as a Giant Ranger fan, have more hope about the future right now with the Giants and the head coaching search than you would the Rangers. Now, real quick, the Steeler fan has been angry at Mike Tomlin for a while.
Yes.
And so I wanted to play for you a few Steeler fans reacting to what happened last night. First of all, who do you blame for the Steeler loss? You sat there, you watched the game. I sat there, I watched the game.
Yeah.
Who do you blame?
I mean, ultimately, it's going to go to the head coach because everything rolls uphill, not down. But if I had to blame somebody, it would be Arthur Smith, their offensive coordinator.
Well,
because their offense felt inept.
Believe it or not, the first Steeler fan, it's a social influencer who recorded a video last night, did not blame Arthur Smith, did not blame Mike Tomlin, did not blame Aaron Rodgers.
What?
Did not blame. She decided to blame somebody else.
I will say right now, Steelers fans, you're the reason they're losing. You guys suck.
Wow.
Nobody is screaming when they're on offense. Nobody cares. You all pay money to come to the game, but nobody cares to help the team. Fan base is terrible right now. There's no momentum.
So it's the fans' fault, Tiki.
It's the fans' fault. She sounded a little imbibed.
You think so?
Like the words were just getting long. No money coming. Nobody's screaming.
I don't know. I'm just some guy watching the game on TV. The crowd sounded awesome.
Yeah, with the boos when they were inept in the red zone.
They were booing the offense.
They definitely were booing.
Well, and I get it. I understand why. I mean, the offense
was a playoff game, man. But you support your team until it's over.
Nah, but you also boo. The Eagle fans were booing over the weekend as well.
Yeah, but they're Eagle fans.
What does that mean?
I guess they're both Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's just they're not
tied. Yes.
Repeat after me. They're not normal people.
And the Eagle fan booing makes less sense. They won a Super Bowl last year. At least in the Steeler fans' argument, they have gone on for their standards a drought.
And that was the first home playoff game with fans for them in 8 years.
Yeah. Here is another Steeler fan explaining why he and most Steeler fans are done with Coach Mike Tomlin.
Do you know what it comes down to? It comes down to the same guy it's come down to for so many years. So many seasons. A Mike Tomlin-led Pittsburgh Steelers team comes up short in January. I don't care what your defense of Mike Tomlin is. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it anymore. He's won a playoff game in 4 out of 19 seasons coaching in the NFL. That's embarrassing. And if they bring him back next year, it will look the same. The same as I said last year leaving Baltimore. If Mike Tomlin is the head coach, it won't be good enough. You just have to move on. You have to move the on. We deserve better. It is time. Please. It's been enough. Move on.
That guy actually convinced me.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. He's going to get what he wishes for, and he might not like it. Because we were just talking about this in the break. There are going to be 9 head coaching openings if Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers divorce one another. Are there 9 good head coaching candidates? Are there 9 candidates that you are so certain of that they're going to turn your program around and make them a plateau higher than they currently are sitting on? Because some of these teams suck. So it's just like the move forward is just win 5 games.
Right.
Right. But when you are sitting at 10 wins every season, basically, always in the postseason, is there a coach out there that's taking you to that next step?
So I think this discussion really fits with a lot of Yankee fans. Sometimes you're sick of quote-unquote mediocrity.
Yeah.
You're sick of banging your head against the wall. I totally understand that argument that dude made about it's the same thing every year. Because he's right.
It is.
And I just say this as a football fan who has no ill will or love for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like every year, it is the same thing. And eventually you say, even at the risk of taking a step back, I have to try to do something different, which is what Yankee fans have been screaming for a decade about Brian Cashman.
Yes.
Brian Cashman's a Hall of Fame GM like Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Fame head coach. But at some point you say, yes, I may take a step back, but I've got to try something different. And I think that's where the Steelers are at. Now, you ask me if I had to make a long-term prediction in the next 10 years, are the Steelers going to match the success of the previous 10 years? Probably not.
No, they're not. And I don't know if they're going to have the longevity that they had with Mike Tomlin and with Bill Cowher before him. And the challenge now is if that falters, if whoever you bring in is just not that guy, are you firing him after 2 years?
Well,
are you firing him after 4 years?
That's the real test because the Steelers have always been the antithesis of every other football team.
100%. And it's interesting with Tomlin too, because I mean, you say he's a Hall of Fame head coach. He is, because he's won a Super Bowl and unprecedentedly has never had a losing season.
Crazy.
That is unprecedented. But we've always said for head coaches, you got to have 2 Super Bowls. 2 Super Bowls kind of almost guarantees you that you're getting in, which is why it's a sin that Tom Coughlin is not in the Hall of Fame yet. I'm sure he will be eventually. But my point is, Mike Tomlin at 53, if he leaves the Steelers, there's a good chance if he really cares about his coaching legacy, is going to coach again.
Before to enhance his resume?
100%. If he cares about it.
Bill Cowher. I mean, Bill Cowher's a Pro Football Hall of Famer.
I know.
And he also was stuck on the one championship.
True.
So based on that, I would say he is. One last thing before we get to your phone calls, because I joke about how I remember all the stuff you say. Sean says we replay the audio. I remember a strong opinion I had many, many years ago. It was a decade ago. It was actually all the way back in 2013 when the Philadelphia Eagles decided to move on from Andy Reid.
Right.
And obviously, same thing, we're outsiders, rivals, but outsiders. And I remember warning the Eagle fans saying, I get it. You've had back-to-back down seasons. but all the success Andy brought you, are you really sure it's going to be better? You won't appreciate him until he's gone. And they made the decision. They got rid of him. And while it wasn't easy, look at the decades since.
For both teams.
Well, forget the Chiefs. Yes, they hired Andy Reid. Great.
Well, for Andy Reid,
Eagles,
it was kind of the best thing that happened to Andy Reid.
It was the best thing for him, but for Philadelphia, I warned you, take a step back. Good luck. What happens? They've won 2 Super Bowls and been to 3.
True.
Now, granted, they haven't had the consistency at head coach. It was Doug Peterson. It was Chip Kelly. It's Nick Sirianni. But nevertheless, I could tell you 12 years later, I was wrong. It was worth them taking the risk and the step back because look at what they've won in the last 12 years.
Yeah, it's a good point. They're the example of it working. A good team firing a coach who was a really good coach, borderline great coach, and then continuing to have success. That doesn't happen all the time. The Giants are an example. Now, Tom Coughlin was getting old, but you fire, essentially, a 2-time Super Bowl winning, consistent head coach. Where have the Giants been the last decade since then?
Terrible. And going through head coaches every 2 years like a cycle. 888-808-1019. Mickey is in Dumont. Good morning, Mickey.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey, good morning. Hey, what's going on, guys? I don't know if you remember me, but Evan, you gave me some Met tickets one time outside of the studio.
Nice.
And Tiki, we were at the Summer Jam, and me and you were talking about we have LVI houses, and you signed a bunch of balls for my nephews.
That's right. Appreciate you calling, dude.
Yeah, and you taught me how to run. I always said you always taught me how to run a football. Well, yeah. So I'm a Jets fan, and this is the best thing that could happen, that him taking a year off. Because he's coming from a city that's a grinding city, that's like blue collar, and the fan base is just out of control. And if you think about it, what is the New York Jets?
A blue collar franchise?
Nut job fans that will ride and die for the team, even though we stink. And he could come into an atmosphere, and if he brings an atmosphere and he brings a winning atmosphere to this team, he will become the most legendary coach to ever coach the New York Jets. And, it just, we need somebody like him.
Mickey, he's everything we dreamt of. And so you're right. And if Tiki's kind of premonition is right, that Mike Tomlin says, I'm done, I'm walking away, and he sits a year or 2, and things don't turn around with Aaron Glenn, Mike Tomlin is the perfect guy.
Right.
The problem is, as a Jet fan, that's years from now. So it's nice to have it. It's nice to say, go do TV for a couple of years, and we'll break glass in case of emergency. But it's not like he'd be walking through that door tomorrow. But it's good to know that in the back of our minds, if things don't turn around with Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, that the culture changer like Mike Tomlin would be out there. Because, he would be the dream hire for the Jets. He would be the guy that we would look at as the Bill Parcells person of this era. But you know what happens? And it happened to Bill Cowher. I know all situations aren't the same. It didn't happen to Sean Payton. Once he gets that taste of television and making money and the lack of pressure and the lack of grind, maybe we lose him and he never comes back.
True. I mean, it's a lot less money. I mean, those guys make probably $1 million around that. As a head coach, you can make, if you're really good, 15.
Reportedly, Mike Tomlin's current contract pays him between 16 and 17 million. And you would assume if he got to free agency in a couple of years or had a chance to get a new job, that number would be higher.
Oh, yeah, he'd be up at 20. So you'd be taking a significant less number to play, to be on television. Now, with that being said, he's probably been making $10 to $15 million for at least a decade.
So he's pocketed that money.
So, I mean, it's hard to spend $120 million. I'm just telling you so.
Ever see Brewster's Millions? It can happen.
It can, but that was on purpose.
Yeah. Let's go to Nick in New Jersey. What's up, Nick?
Listen, so I'm listening to you guys, and I'm talking, I'm thinking to myself, I go, yeah, that's great. Harbaugh, I think the Giants, Harbaugh would be a great addition to us, but let's take another step. Give me Tomlin. I want Tomlin as my head coach, and give me Antonio Pierce running the defense. What's your thought on that?
I mean, I would love for AP to get a chance to be our defensive coordinator, because I think even though he doesn't have the experience doing it, he's a grinder. You talk about a blue-collar type player, that was him. And he would figure it out, but he'd have the intensity to get it done. Plus, Mike Tomlin, as a head coach and a defensive-minded one, would obviously help him along the way. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to be available to the New York Giants. Well, partly because we don't know when he's going to announce, but I think more importantly, if he was to leave and try to come to the Giants this season, the Giants would have to give up. So it'd be a trade. That'd be the only way to get him.
Yeah. So
and you'd give up 2, maybe more in first round assets, and it's not worth it.
John Harbaugh got fired. Let's keep that in mind. Steve Biscotti decided to fire him, called him up and said, we're moving on, which allowed John Harbaugh to be a free agent. Mike Tomlin has next year under contract, and then the Steelers have a team option in 2027. You are pointing out, hey, if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'd walk away. If he does that, he's not a free agent.
No.
If he goes to Steeler ownership and says, it's been a good run, I don't want to do this anymore, he's under contract, and much like Sean Payton, even after sitting out a year, the Steelers own his rights, and it would have to be a trade. And not that he isn't worth it, because I would argue that a good head coach is worth a first-round pick easily. Like, the impact that coach has, to me, far exceeds, unless I'm getting a franchise quarterback, far exceeds the player that I draft.
Right.
But when John Harbaugh's available and Mike McCarthy's available and, even for the Giants, Kevin Stefanski's available, who you like and they like, I think that's where it wouldn't make sense to trade capital when all these other really good head coaches are also available. Let's go to Ozzy in Woodridge. What's up, Oz?
Hey, Oz.
Good morning, fellas. How are you?
We're good.
All right, I just wanted to call real quick. No harm, no foul. Number one, what I read into the Tomlin thing, remember his exact statement is, I got to evaluate what happened in this stadium tonight. He heard the fire Tomlin chants again. So
that's a good point, Ozzy.
Yeah.
And he's been hearing that for a lot of
That's
tough
why
moments
I said
this
again.
year.
Yeah. So that's number one. Keep that in mind. But I'm calling, I ain't going to lie, I'm calling as a Cowboy fan today. You guys said that McCarthy is in the Giants building, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Today is Mike McCarthy Day at the Giant practice facility, correct.
They cannot let him leave the building today without a contract.
Stop.
You cannot wait on the Harbaugh thing. It's too much of a gamble. The Giants need to hire McCarthy right now.
That would
very important.
That would serve you very well as a Cowboy fan, Ozzy.
I find that unbelievable to me. Mike McCarthy has an incredible resume, a resume that almost matches John Harbaugh. And here's a Cowboy fan who had Mike McCarthy here with 3 consecutive 12-win seasons, and he's calling up radio saying, I hope the Giants hire him.
He didn't win a Super Bowl.
I get it.
So I think, here's the unfortunate thing about evaluating coaches from a fan perspective. So everybody knows what the Cowboys have been. They haven't won since the 90s. It's been forever since the Cowboys have won a championship. Right, seriously. And so, yeah, they're good, but being good is not the goal. Think about Jerry Jones every single year. He's tamed it down, actually, talking about we're winning the Super Bowl, all this other stuff. He used to say it every single season. And like we're the ordained team type of mentality that they had down there. And the fans believe that. And so you bring in Mike McCarthy, he's fantastic in the regular season, but he is so short of the goal. Right? For the Giants, when we hire our next head coach, you know what our goal is going to be? Winning season. Give us a path forward.
Right, which is why he makes sense for the Giants.
Right. And so when this is no different than what's going to happen to the next Pittsburgh Steelers coach if Mike Tomlin should leave. It's not going to be, do what Mike Tomlin did and get us consistently to the postseason. It's going to be win us a damn Super Bowl.
No, you're right.
And so if you are 5 years in, you win 13 games a year with the Pittsburgh Steelers and you don't get into the Super Bowl, the fan base is going to hate you.
Yeah.
And so Mike McCarthy isn't liked by the Dallas Cowboy fan base, not because he wasn't successful, but because he didn't get to the ultimate prize.
I get that, but if Mike McCarthy comes to the Giants and they're winning 12 games every year, of course, eventually you guys will get frustrated.
Yes.
That's bad for the Cowboys. If there's another team in your division winning 12 games every year, where are your wins coming from?
I 100% agree. No, you're right. I'm not espousing what Ozzy was talking about, but as a Cowboy fan, I see why he's like that.
Robbie is in Lenox. What's up, Robbie?
Hey, guys, how are you? Man, it's so good to talk during the day.
What's up?
Hang on one second. All right, so let's talk about a couple things. First of all, Evan, I want to tell you something. I mean, it's great to talk to you. How's Purchase treating you these days? You know, Tiki, Evan bought a house about 10 minutes from where I grew up, so I just wanted
nice.
to See how you're doing. So anyway, and if you take Joe to play Hourwood one day, maybe you'll take him to play golf there anyway. So it's fun. I miss those days growing up in PC and in Rybrook. But let's talk about our football teams. Teak, I got to ask you, all year long we talk about the Giants and their draft picks, and I want to know who you want. I love the kid at LSU. I wanted to talk about that, get your opinion. Also, I wanted to mention something about my hockey team that you just mentioned. This is the most disgusting, embarrassing, pathetic season I've ever seen in my life. The bottom six stinks. The Cats have fired Drury. How is this guy keeping his job? James Dolan in studio the other day says this guy's a winner. What, when he was in the Little League baseball team? When he actually was a member of the Colorado Avalanche?
I get it. The problem is what Dolan has shown you, and it's worked in Ranger history, is he's patient. And so I surmise that as bad as things are getting at the Garden, and I can't disagree with Robbie that this is one of the worst seasons they've had. The last time they had a year this bad, they wrote the famous season ticket letter in which they said, we're rebuilding, we're telling you the deal. I don't know what they do this time. Maybe there's another blow-up example.
Oh, it's coming.
I don't think it involves Drury. I think that Dolan has shown you, good or bad, that there's a loyalty to kind of sticking it through.
Yeah. No, I think you're right about that. And
be a lot of fun.
Yeah, not for hockey fans. It's going to be rough for Ranger fans. But his question about the draft, the kid Mansour Delane is a cornerback from LSU. Giants need a cornerback, obviously, especially with, what's his name, Cordell Flott being a free agent. But they also need a wide receiver, and Carnell Tate is who I would want. They also need a linebacker. Sonny Styles is the guy I would want. I mean, this could be a situation this year in the draft, and we're so far away from it. But the Giants might trade back into the first round to get some of these needs that they need again, just like they did with Jackson Dart.
Well, they don't have a third-round pick, which is going to make it challenging.
True.
The pick that they used to trade up for Jackson Dart a year ago. Let's go to David down in Houston. What's up, David?
What's up, guys? Good morning to you in beautiful Manhattan, New York City there.
Nice.
No doubt.
I love my Houston Texans.
Me too.
And I know that the Dallas Cowboys rule the Houston area, but Houston has its own football team.
Damn right.
And they have a Super Bowl caliber. Last night was awesome. That defense of D'Amico Ryan is a Super Bowl caliber defense that can win football games no matter where, how, or when, or whatever the weather is. And I just want to say that D'Amico Ryan is a genius. He's a genius.
Yeah, he's done an unbelievable job, David. And look, let's not minimize what's happened with the Houston Texans, because early in this season when they were 3-5, people were counting them out. They haven't lost since week 9.
10 straight now.
Of the NFL regular season.
Yes.
10 straight.
Yes.
And they're not all beautiful. They're not all blowouts. Last night wasn't even pretty for at least the first half. So C.J. Stroud felt compromised from a execution standpoint.
There was a lot of miscommunication because twice on the fumbled snaps, he had no idea the ball was coming his way.
100%. And then trying to regather the ball and throw it when he's completely surrounded and resulting into two fumbles. I mean, he was bad.
Yes. He was also inaccurate.
Yeah,
even some
100%.
of the completions were not at the normal accuracy we've grown accustomed to with CJ.
Right. Thank goodness Christian Kirk was on this team, who people had forgotten about because he was injured 2 years ago, I think he was. But he was amazing. One of those diving catches. I mean, he was fully laid out in front. He had a couple of other big plays, including a touchdown that was at the early starts of this thing pulling away from them. So, look, the Texans deserve a ton of credit. I think the reason they're not one of the favorites, despite how great their defense is because how inconsistent their offense feels. You don't trust them to be great every night, every time they go out.
There's a couple of things about the Texans, and to David, who's a Texan fan, let me just say, I'm with you, bro. They are my hope as well. In a world in which the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots still exist, the Houston Texans are my team. I'm with you. I felt that way last night. And here's the other reason, and this is the human nature. So that's me, the bitter fan, very similar to Sean. I'm a bitter fan. I'm a Jet fan, so screw the Bills, screw the Patriots. Here's what I'm going to be like Tiki Barber. I like D'Amico Ryan.
Yeah.
I find him to be so freaking likable in a world in which most of these head coaches are just loudmouth, arrogant, I know more than you, douchey kind of guys.
Right. It's for a former player. He doesn't have an ego.
No, it doesn't seem that way.
He was great. I mean, wasn't he Rookie of the Year? Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Houston Texans?
He was Defensive Rookie of the Year. He made a couple of Pro Bowls, had a really solid NFL career.
Long NFL career. Goes and learns under, I forgot who the defensive coordinator was. Was it Saleh?
In San Francisco, I think it was Saleh.
I think it was Robert Saleh in San Francisco, and then gets his shot and immediately brings success to Houston.
They've had great success. They've turned the franchise around after the whole Deshaun Watson thing. And so he's likable from a human standpoint. Yeah. The other guy who's likable is C.J. Stroud. Now, he drove me nuts last night because it was sloppy as all hell.
Right. You know what I meant to ask you to look up, Sean? Remember the hand size controversy with high school or college quarterbacks coming into the NFL? Was he one of those kids? I couldn't remember.
Was C.J. Stroud?
Because when watching that game last night, a couple of the times the ball got knocked out, it was like, man, I wonder if his hands are small. That was the first thing I was thinking about. And so I was like, wait, was he one of those kids?
But Tiki, think about this. He had 4 fumbles in the first half last night. I think he ended up having 5 for the game.
Yeah.
He had 2 all season long. So it's not like it was an issue all year. For whatever reason, it was an issue last night. So for the Texans to do God's work by going to Foxborough and beating the New England Patriots, number one, they got to clean that up.
Yeah.
And number two, and I can't dismiss this because it was huge coming out of last night, is the injury to Nico Collins.
Yeah,
who not only is in concussion protocol, it wasn't your typical blue tan, I barely saw it. The guy was carted off the field.
Yeah.
So I would be stupefied, stunned, whatever word you want to use, if Nico's on the field against the Patriots next week. So not only are they going to have to continue to run the ball really well, which they did well last night with Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, but Christian Kirk's got to continue to step up.
Dalton Schultz has got to have another good day.
And C.J. Stroud can't be sloppy.
Yeah.
That was some sloppy garbage last night, and luckily they got away with it because their defense is intoxicatingly awesome. Will Anderson has been worth all the hype after being number 3 overall. But I'm with you. Like, I look at the NFL playoffs, the team that I like the most from a selfish standpoint when it comes to division rivals, but also just a likability standpoint, is the Houston Texans.
Yeah, they don't feel threatening to any of our teams at all. By the way, he had big hands. C.J. Stroud.
Big hands.
Relatively speaking.
Big ham hocks.
Big ham hocks.
Big ham hocks. Let's go to Alex in Totowa, New Jersey. What's up, Alex?
Hey, Alex.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
All's well.
Good.
I wanted to make a point about Aaron Rodgers, to your guys' perspective, especially you being a former player. So he's obviously earned the right, at this point in his career, what he's done to call out players, chew out players. And the greats have done it, right? Brady's done it, Manning's done it, Mahomes does it. I just, as a fan watching, and I don't know what he's saying, I just feel like he does it in such an arrogant way when anyone makes a mistake.
Yeah.
You saw last night on that sack when the right tackle missed it. And I just, how do you feel about that? And it's like, as a fan, there's a way to do it, right?
Yeah.
And
no, you're right,
I just
Alex.
feel like when he does that, it doesn't work. And just real quick, maybe make you guys laugh with this. He reminds me of Martell in The Replacements. When he just has this arrogance.
That's right.
Right? And he's
so
just like,
true.
I'm so good. I can do, if I make a mistake, well, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I can make a mistake.
Right.
You miss a block, you drop a pass, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
So I just want to get your point.
No, you're right. You're reading that exactly right. And the reason I think it's an issue, Alex, is because Aaron Rodgers has been in Pittsburgh for 10 months. It's not like Pat Mahomes, who starts yelling at guys because they've been together for 6 years. Or Peyton Manning, he was there for a decade in Indianapolis. Like, you can do it when you have a long-standing relationship and you know from experience that player should be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're yelling at a guy who, I don't know, who stinks. He's a backup. He's hurt, and he's not going to be there next year. You can yell at that guy, but it doesn't matter. But if it's somebody who you know is a very good player and you expect better, that's when you got to be delicate about it. And so I think it's just his emotion in the moment, probably. But it's weird to me because he hasn't been there that long.
It's funny how the jersey you wear changes a perspective. And I will be brutally honest about this. So last night, watching Aaron Rodgers, does it come across douchey, arrogant, the comp he made to the replacements? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. When he was a Jet, I loved it because to me it reeked of accountability. For a franchise that had so much failures over the last decade, I almost looked at him as the adult in the room who's going to fix all the issues. And it's not what turned out, obviously.
That's what he wants, by the way.
That's what he wants. That's what I wanted as a fan. And I think ultimately my bitterness towards Aaron Rodgers is disappointment. He came here off of a 7-win season. The Jets were 7-10 with incompetent quarterback play from Zach Wilson. And it was the easiest logic in the world. Bring in Aaron Rodgers, even if he's not the Hall of Famer, and you should, at minimum, go from 7-10 to 10-7. That's not what happened. He got hurt right away. And so Zach had to fill in again. And again, they go 7-10. Then the following year, okay, he's healthy. Same logic. And they win 5 games. And so for me, it's just the massive disappointment of the era and how it didn't work out. And I would assume in Pittsburgh, though your bar is higher, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
You've been in the playoffs every year with Mike Tomlin, or at least close to it, and you lose in the first round. Well, this year, you're back, same spot. It happens to be at home for the first time in a while. And what happens? The same stuff. And so I think the Steeler fan is going to look at Aaron Rodgers in a similar way to the way I look at him, which is not that I hate you, but you're a massive disappointment.
Yeah, I think that's what is ultimately how he's going to be remembered. His tenure in Pittsburgh is going to be that.
Toll-free numbers 888-808-1019. The John Harbaugh sweepstakes is heating up. We will do a tale of the tape. We'll analyze the biggest rivals to the Giants in possibly stealing John Harbaugh. Plus a new edition of Posted and Toasted coming up at 11:30, where Tiki guesses the old tweets of our fellow FAN coworkers. It is Evan and Tiki with Sean Morash till 2.
The Pick 3, Quick 3, is brought to you by New Jersey Lottery.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
Time for change in Philly. We all know that, and that's not just getting rid of offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo. That's not just trading A.J. Brown. It's time for change, real change for the Eagles. And if you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. Before he takes a head coaching job somewhere, go get Mike McDaniel. Make him your offensive coordinator and get him to build an offense around the guy it should be built around, Saquon Barkley. I'm Chris Mack.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Whether you want to take your next level of adventure in the Frontier Dark Armor, the Pathfinder, the Armada, or the Rogue, you'll be ready for what comes your way. Nissan. #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Nissan Rogue, 2025 Murano or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 2/2/26.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the divisional round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts mean more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in. Take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Maybe you'll parlay each team's lead running back to score an anytime touchdown. Then apply your profit boosts and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep on rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/New York and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. We all love the app around here. It is safe and secure. And when you win, you get paid instantly. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of WFAN.
21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issues now. Drawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with the gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-823-5544. That's 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544.
Come visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers at any one of their 6 locations.
We're talking New York sports. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
This is the week where things are really heating up for John Harbaugh and the New York Giants. Reportedly, he spent the last couple of days collecting information, even had that reported get-together with Chris Merrill at his home in Baltimore, and will begin whittling down his list and doing interviews this week. I was trying to look at all the different candidates, the Browns, the Vegas Raiders, Tennessee, not Baltimore because they're not bringing him back, Miami, Arizona, Atlanta, and I'm trying to put my IFO hat on and say, okay, who's the biggest threat? Without knowing specifically what he's looking for, because obviously it could be something that you can't measure, like the weather or the school districts or whatever. But looking at the rosters and looking at the football teams, I was trying to come up with, all right, who really poses the biggest threat to the New York Giants?
Evan, I'm gonna ask you something. I want you to order your top 3 biggest threats to the New York Giants. And the Pick 3, Quick 3, is brought to you by New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion. Back again on Pick 3 evening drawings.
I think threat number 1 would be the Cleveland Browns based on the fact that it could be sticking it to the Ravens. It could be getting to coach one of the best defensive players of our generation. And I admit, and I pointed this out last week, the connection that he and the Harbaugh family has to the city of Cleveland, which is very tough to just ignore and throw out. I don't know what he thinks of Shedeur Sanders. I don't know if the quarterback is ultimately how he's going to make a decision. He's also going to have a top pick to play with as well. But also, it's a franchise that doesn't exactly have the greatest reputation. So that's why I don't put them one. I put them third as like a looming threat.
Right.
It's like that storm forming in the Atlantic that probably isn't going to make landfall, but you got to keep an eye on it. Threat number 2 is Atlanta. Because you've spoke glowingly about Matt Ryan.
Yep. And Arthur Blank, who's an amazing man.
They both have great reputations.
Right.
And it's just the facts. Like Arthur Blank is considered one of the more respected owners in the sport. Matt Ryan, who obviously just took the job running his former franchise. And then you throw in the fact that while they may not have the obvious answer at cornerback, assuming he doesn't love Michael Penix Jr., you are talking about one of the best running backs on the planet in Bijan Robinson. Mm-hmm. You're talking about some weapons on offense. They have a lot of talent on their roster. The negative is they don't have their first-round pick.
Right.
They don't have their first-round pick, which is something the Giants do, something the Browns do, something the other competitors do. But I think the reputation of ownership, Matt Ryan, I could see Atlanta being a threat. And remember, the Falcons are the team that prematurely decided to tweet out yesterday that they've interviewed John Harbaugh. When they didn't interview John Harbaugh, they simply had a phone conversation with John Harbaugh, which a lot of teams have done.
Yeah, so think about, I think you have to stop thinking about this in the way that we as fans think about. Who's their quarterback? What's their roster look like? It's more, what's the owner? Because the reason I would push against the Browns being the number one threat for John Harbaugh is that he comes from a place of extreme competency when it comes to ownership. Bisciotti was great in Baltimore. I can't see him going someplace where the owner, like Vegas. I can't see him go to Vegas where Mark Davis is all over the place. Mm-hmm. Like that wouldn't make sense to me because John Harbaugh, after 18 years and a hugely successful run in Baltimore, is not going to go somewhere where he's got to fix upwards. You know what I mean? Like Sean Payton had to do in New Orleans. He had to fix it upwards. Like his coaching and organizational leadership changed the organization. Not just change the football team, it changed the organization. I can't see John Harbaugh wanting to do that. So it's got to be somewhere where there's a stability and a competency from ownership down. And so I would rule Cleveland out. Atlanta would be my number one.
Would be
threat.
number one?
Number one.
See, my number one threat is the Tennessee Titans. Because the Tennessee Titans have a few things, and I know you're saying don't just look at the quarterback, don't look at the roster. I do it to a degree because I believe that's what he'd be doing with the Giants. And that would be one of the edges that the Giants have, that he likes Jackson Dart. He likes some of the pieces on defense. He likes Malik Neighbors. He likes the running back room, that he just looks at the roster and says, hey, I can make a difference with that roster. The Tennessee Titans have that to a degree as well. Right. Now, they don't have the skill position players, but they have the quarterback. And let's not forget he was drafted number 1 overall and finished last season strong. Cam Ward is still highly, highly regarded around this league. And I wonder, as much as Giant fans may not want to believe this, but I wonder if John Harbaugh holds Cam Ward in a higher esteem than he does Jackson Dart. I don't think that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's impossible to know. I don't know if he played against. Did they play the Titans? I don't know. If they did, then he probably did some work on them. But the thing you worry about in Tennessee is everything else. Is he going to have any kind of say or control over the roster? Because what's his name?
Mike Borgonzi.
Borgonzi does everything there. And so I don't know if that's going to matter. I know it was reported, but and then debunked that he wants control.
But that's the same issue he would potentially have with the Giants.
100%.
Because there's a ready-made general manager.
100%. But, I mean, Joe Shane, let's call it for what it is on not shaky ground, but there's no certainty about him going forward. Borgonzi's there forever. He's not leaving Tennessee until Amy Strunk Adams is not the owner anymore. And so I think it's a little bit different with the Giants than it is with the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Joe Shane's more of a pushover. He may just come in and just take over.
He doesn't have a long-term contract. Right. So he could be there for a year. He could be there. He could be gone now. Or it could be there for a decade.
The GM dynamic is tough to figure out, but what Tennessee does have is they've got a future quarterback, if he believes in him.
Yep.
They've got an oral defensive player in Jeffrey Simmons.
Yep.
They also have the second most cap space in the NFL. So I know the Giants, and Sean argued this with me last week, that they're in a good spot cap-wise. Fine. They're not in as good of a spot as the Tennessee Titans. And also Tennessee has their pick, which is a high pick.
Yep.
They've got all the cap space. They have the young quarterback. And I don't know how much this factors in. I don't know if he's analyzing the divisions and says, ooh, that's a plus for Atlanta because the NFC South just had a team make the playoffs with a losing record. Meanwhile, the NFC East features Jaden Daniels, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Cowboys who should be back. I don't know if that's factored in, and I would advise that you shouldn't factor it in because that's very short-sighted. Divisions are cyclical, or at least they should be in theory. Like year to year, the world changes. So I wouldn't even look at the AFC South and say, well, that's an unwinnable division because the Colts should be good. The Jaguars are really good. The Texans are awesome. Like, I think you have to view that as something that can be altered kind of year to year. But looking at the rosters, the cap spot, the draft pick situation, if I'm using that as my frame of reference, and I'm choosing to do that, I think the Tennessee Titans are the biggest threat for John Harbaugh to the New York Giants.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I still feel good about the Giant chances, but I think the Titans pose a bigger threat than maybe we realize.
Yesterday, part of that Titan report that I couldn't get over, though, was the stadium thing, that the Titans are building a new stadium. Why? What coach would care about that?
I don't think that matters. I think there's going to be a lot of reporting over the last few days that are just noise that's thrown out there. Like, I don't think that matters.
Do you think it matters that Jim Harbaugh publicly said he prefers his brother goes to the NFC?
No. No, you
don't think John considers it'll go like, yeah, I'd really not play with my brother in the playoffs and stuff like that?
First of all, here's what I would say to Jim. Hey, Jim, where'd you go? John's been in the AFC for a million years. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, big shot? You could have gone to a lot of different places, Jim. You were the hottest coaching candidate for multiple years. Where'd you go? You went to the AFC West. You went to the AFC. So who the hell are you to tell your brother where he's supposed to go or not?
Boy, says a lot, though, about John if he runs to the South based on division. Jim went right into the teeth of Patrick Mahomes' division, huh?
So what does that mean? You're trying to, threaten John Harbaugh?
John, be more like your brother. Go take the difficult job in the East.
Now, I'm curious. Logan Ryan, who was a hell of a player, played for the Giants briefly. He chimed in with where he would kind of analyze where the best spot is for John Harbaugh, like where he thinks John would go. So Logan Ryan's one of those guys, played a long time in this league. Here's what Logan had to say about the head-to-head battle and the biggest competition for the services of John Harbaugh.
You know what? They got pros and cons of both. I think New York's more desirable. You have the young wide receiver, young quarterback, young running back. It's the New York market. But you got that GM, Joe Schoen, I'm not fond of. I'm just not fond of him. From my experience with him, I don't know why he does what he does. I know he lets a lot of Pro Bowlers walk and play for different teams and whatnot, so I don't think that's good. But so you have to have someone that wants to inherit that, inherit Joe Schoen. And how long does Joe Schoen have, right?
He doesn't like Joe Schoen.
That's what we were talking about. We don't know how long Joe Schoen has, and then the reality is guys who have been really good elsewhere have left this team. And I know that he's trying to be cap responsible if you want to make an excuse for Joe Schoen, but sometimes you just find a way. I've said this for years. The cap is fungible, man. You can figure that out. It becomes a want-to thing. And it seems like some of these guys, he didn't want to keep them. And so they walked. And then he makes a mistake and keeps a guy like Darius Slayton, who has been unreliable for the Giants. So why?
Yeah.
Like the why doesn't make sense sometimes with Joe Schoen.
Now you could tell Logan Ryan is not a fan of Joe Schoen.
No.
Did Joe Schoen cut Logan Ryan?
Correct.
So there may be some bitterness?
Yeah, that's direct bitterness. So you can't even, you got to take it with a grain of salt and not even put credence into it because it's personal.
It sounds it.
It's personal.
Here's another clip of Logan Ryan talking about Joe Schoen, and yeah, it does sound a little personal.
Right now, as it's standing, Harbaugh's not going to go work for Joe Schoen. I think he'll go to Atlanta, where there's no GM at the moment, or Miami just hired a GM, a few minutes ago or whatnot. So maybe that might be out for Miami. But if Joe Schoen gets fired, that's for John Harbaugh.
Yeah, he needed to qualify that before the interview even started.
Yeah, by saying, I don't like Joe Schoen? No, Joe Schoen cut my ass?
Just so you know, for context, Joe Schoen cut me. So I have a biased opinion about him towards the negative. So everything I say is going to be glassed by that.
Yeah.
Right? There is a tinted glass in between what I'm saying and what you're hearing.
Some guys are really good at making you not realize their ulterior motive.
Yeah.
And some guys are just like, I don't like this guy.
It's also you just need to know.
Yeah.
You need to know why is he hate Joe Shane so much? Oh wait, he got cut by him. That makes sense.
I almost forget Logan Ryan was a Giant, but he was during the Joe Judge era in 20 and 21. And then when Shane took over, he was a part of the house cleaning.
Right.
Correct. And he wanted to come here because he was a Jersey guy, Rutgers and everything, right? So that was like a big deal that they cut him. So I get the bitterness.
Let's get to your calls, 888-808-1019. CJ is in Manhattan. What's up, CJ? CJ.
What's up, CJ?
Fellas, apologies. How are you guys?
All's good, man.
Good. What's up?
I wanted to just follow it real quick. So my first game was the Wellington Mara game where Tiki ran for 206 yards, which as a 7-year-old kid, that was one of the coolest things ever. We've had season tickets since 1956, and now I took them over. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, Grandpa Joe really, really hooked us up. But I heard that Tom Coughlin gave a buzz to John Harbaugh. And, I was pretty blown away by that because, we kind of kicked him on the way out, which, pissed me off to no end. But, I love the guy.
A lot of people.
But I just wanted to hear what you guys were thinking about that. And
it's
really
great.
Putting all our eggs in that basket.
All right, so thank you, CJ. Appreciate the call. And Tom, it's been reconciled a little bit. He's been around. You see him at training camp. He came back. Part of that is Dave's, wanting guys to come back. But the 100th anniversary last year, he was back with Bill Parcells. And so I think that ice sheet that was put up between them has thawed. And Tom is now back in reverence with this team. So that doesn't surprise me. I'm glad to hear that. I hadn't heard that report, but that's pretty cool.
I also think, and I'm not saying that Tom did this, but I think it's human nature after you get dumped to kind of look at that place and say, I hope you don't have the same great success. And guess what? It worked out. They did not have great success. But enough time has gone by now, or I would think it's healthy for Tom Coughlin to look at the Giants and say, all right, enough of the sucking.
Right.
All right. I proved my point. You guys love me and you miss me and you haven't been able to replace me. You've tried it a bunch of times. Now go have success. And so I think that relationship is probably in a healthy place. And I think Tom Coughlin making that phone call can't hurt. Because I think Tom can explain to John how John Harbaugh coming to the Giants is actually sort of similar to Tom Coughlin coming to the Giants. Because Tom had a really good resume in Jacksonville. He had success there. Maybe not to the level of John in terms of longevity or winning a championship, but he did go to 2 AFC title games, especially with a team that was created in a laboratory. And so I think he could explain to him the beauty of New York, what it's like winning here, the ownership dynamic. And so it can't hurt. And it's a good thing. And who knows, maybe it will come out after the story is written that Tom Coughlin was Mariano Rivera. And he was the closer that sealed the deal. But anything you do to get him to accept this job is a positive. Chris Mara, who I admit I don't know much about, but fairly unfairly, his name has been brought up over the years. Like, Chris Mara, what does he know? He's just a Mara.
He's second to John.
Fair enough.
So he's likely the operating owner right now.
Okay. If he seals this deal, any negative thing that's been said about Chris Mara, you people should apologize. Because if he gets this done by any means necessary, it's a huge victory in Giant land.
Yeah, I think Giant fans would be excited. I do have a question about Chris Mara as it pertains to John Harbaugh. In that spot, you show up to John Harbaugh's house. Is Chris Mara...
he's invited.
Okay, well,
I don't think he's knocking on his door uninvited.
That's not even here or there.
Hey, man, I was in town. You there? Hey.
That's not even a point. Like, planned or not. You show up at the house.
You bring in ordered-in food.
That's what I'm saying. Chris Mara's showing up at the lunch. John Harbaugh's prepared a lunch. They order some pizzas. What do you do in that spot?
It's probably just chill and order.
Couple of thought Uncrustables here? What are we doing?
Yeah, something easy. I think we want to church it up because it feels like it should be.
Yeah.
But these guys are just dudes, man. They're just people.
Chris, to me, if I was like a head coach and an owner came over and he's like, listen, I just picked up some Wendy's on the way, a couple junior bacons through the table. I got to be honest with you. I'd be like, you know what? We were late. I get this. Like,
no, I'm sure John's wife made lunch And
Okay.
whether it was something they had or something they brought, who knows?
Get
Why
the
does it even
pizza
matter?
rolls out of the freezer. I'm just curious. You show up to somebody's
It's
house
not
to
that
room.
casual, but I'm sure that it's like
Because you hear all these reports of going out to dinner. You show up to somebody's house for lunch and you want to hire them. I think you got to bring the lunch.
Yeah, it's also tough to rely on Mrs. Harbaugh to make lunch.
Yeah.
So what I would do,
I'm sure this was planned.
Okay, but because it's planned, here's how I would plan it out. Once John says to me, I'm Chris Mara. John's like, yeah, 2 o'clock on Sunday works. Chris then does all his research on the best restaurants in and around his neighborhood, calls up and says, hey, I was going to pick up from blah, blah, blah. What would you like? And so then you're supplying the food by picking it up, bringing it over. It's a place he already loves. It's a fancy place in the area. And now you're not putting the Harbaughs on notice. Say, hey, feed me. I'm hungry.
I agree.
That'd be my approach.
You can't have that. Mrs. Harbaugh can't be breaking out the deli meats out of the fridge. That can't happen.
The question is, are you having a beverage?
I'm trying to liquor him up.
Or iced tea? Or is it lemonade? Or is it a beer? Like, what do you have it?
I think that's on John to offer Chris
Yeah,
a
I'm
beer.
following the lead, man.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because think about it.
It's on the host. It's always on the host.
And you're also recruiting him. You're trying to sleep with him. So you almost have to follow the lead.
Yes.
I'm so curious what happened in that meeting. And I'm curious if this leads to him getting the job, of him saying, you know what, I'm comfortable. I'm going to do it.
If it was me, I'd be like, hey, I'm making martinis. You want one?
Yes.
Now, smarten me up and the audience up. Chris Mara, tell me more about him. So you're saying right now he's probably acting like the de facto owner?
He probably is, because John's obviously going through cancer treatment. And so I don't think John could travel right now down to where's he live? In Baltimore, I'm sure.
Yeah, in the Baltimore area.
In the Baltimore, I don't think he could travel. So Chris is handling a lot of those duties, and so he's. It's hard for me to explain it because I've known him. I feel like half my life.
But he's worked in the front office for multiple administrations.
100%. Well, not only that, he's part of the family. He's part of the ownership group, and he does a lot of things behind the scene. He doesn't get the I don't know, the kudos or the blame or the whatever, but he's part of the organization and he's been there forever. So for me, the Maras feel like my adult family. You know what I mean? Because I was 22 when I came here. You meet them all. I became close with everybody there, and so it's hard for me to say what he does, what he doesn't do, because he's just there.
Well, I think what fans have assumed he does is he's like a scout. He helps with pro player personnel.
Right.
And because his last name is Mara, he has survived all these administrations. That's why I say that Giant fans have been mad at him and he's been the boogeyman for the last
they
decade.
get bitter about that. But if your family owned a plumbing business and the father owned it and then he gave it to the kids and the sons and they did the job, would you be upset with them just because it's a family business?
Right.
I don't think people look at it that way. They look at it as they own it, meaning the fans own it and they have a say in it. And it's just not the case. It's a business like any other business.
Here's all I know. For all the unfair or fair criticism Chris Mara's taken for 15 years, if he seals the deal on John Mara, his reputation amongst Giant fans,
look, I think
golden.
Right. I think, and this is my last say on this. I think the Mara family, not John, everybody else gets blamed because fans run out of people to blame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't blame the player. I blamed them enough. Can't blame the coach. I blame them enough. Can't blame the general manager. I blame them enough. Let me blame somebody who I've never seen and don't know what they do.
An hour ago, and you could rewind on the Odyssey app, we played a clip of a Steeler fan blaming the fans for last night's loss. So you talk about running out of people to blame.
She might have been the smartest fan I've ever heard on this network.
She may have been. Let's go to Mike in Clifton Park. What's up, Mike?
Hey, guys. So I just want to bring up a Giant point, a Met point, and a Sean point, please. So the Giants, I mean, what dumb luck in terms of Shane and Dable. They could have been fired last year, and they would have missed out on this whole coaching cycle.
You're right. You're right.
Jackson Dart was also dumb luck, too, in a way, if you think about it. So talk about good fortune here. The Mets, I'm waiting for the Kyle Tucker domino to fall. I don't know if he's going to be a Met, but I can't wait to get things moving. Because I think once that domino falls, things hopefully will start to have some action here. And then Sean comes up on my social media feed all the time, and I realized the other day does you realize he looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid? Does anyone notice that?
Yes.
You know, because if there is anyone that does a good job with AI,
yes.
I mean, I see Sean as a Cabbage Patch Kid with a New York Giant winter pom-pom hat.
I completely agree, and I think so. I've seen this numerous times. I think Gio has said it on the air, and I think Craig back in the day when I was working with him, I think he put out a picture of Sean Morash as a Cabbage Patch Kid. So you're not alone in that. There is certainly a view looking at Sean as if he's a real-life Cabbage Patch Kid.
I find it lazy and taps into the bald thing. What about me? I got a beard. Babies don't have beards. Big difference.
You don't see it?
No, listen, I look like a lot of things. Lump of you-know-what, all this other stuff. Cabbage Patch, I have a beard. Babies don't have beards.
Just because you have a beard doesn't disqualify the comp.
So what? Outside of me being bald, what about me's a baby?
And that you're very cuddly. That you got big cheeks that people just want to grab.
Don't be nice to me.
We'll get back to your calls in a minute. 888-808-1019. Plus a new edition of Posted and Toasted, where we got some of the old tweets of our fellow FAN coworkers and Tiki guesses who posted it. It's Evan and Tiki till the Carton Show at 2 o'clock.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Ray Katina Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
Just one drive in a Mercedes-Benz, you'll understand why it's a gift that keeps on giving. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration lives on at Mercedes-Benz of Edison. Choose from over 500 vehicles and experience the love during the extended Holiday Love Celebration at Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
The Nets play ball with the Pelicans. 8 o'clock tomorrow night. The home of Brooklyn Nets basketball is The Fan. 101.9 FM and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
At Nielsen, fun is in the driver's seat.
Your best year starts with a savings. Don't miss the January Jumpstart event at Nielsen Dodge.
That's right, Chels. We're ready to start your new year with low lease payments to get you driving.
Lease a new 2026 Dodge Durango GT Plus all-wheel drive Hemi V8, just $299 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4, just $359 a month. Or choose from hundreds of quality certified pre-owned vehicles.
With 0 down payment and the credit help you deserve.
Come see all the great savings we've lined up so you can start your new year driving happy and hassle-free. Let the fun begin.
On Route 10 in East Hanover. Online at NielsenDodge.com. A proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
At Nielsen Dodge.
Fun is in the driver's seat.
Start something new sales event. With approval term Durango 36, Ram 42 months due at signed, Durango 55.99, Ram 59.54 at tax tag 498 dock and DMV fees.
At Town Fair Tire, New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer, you get it all. The guaranteed lowest price, the most free services, and we accept all valid rebates from any manufacturer and from our competition. Yes, we accept them all, even competitor rebates. Town Fair Tire, New England's largest discount tire dealer, now with over 120 stores from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
We're here with attorney Mark Miner of the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner. Mark, winter conditions can make walking treacherous. What responsibilities do property owners have in regards to snow and ice?
Well, all property owners must keep their property in a reasonably safe condition. When it comes to snow or ice, this means that within a reasonable time after snowfall ends, all walking surfaces must be made safe.
Now, what must be done to make the property safe?
All snow and ice should be removed. If all snow and ice cannot be removed, then ice melt or sand should be applied.
Do you handle many cases involving snow and ice?
Absolutely. Slipping and falling on ice can result in terrible injuries.
If someone is injured in an accident, what should they do?
They can call us at 1-800-LAW-LINE for a free consultation. We can quickly determine whether there is a claim worth pursuing, and there's never a fee unless there's a recovery.
If you're injured in an accident, call 1-800-LAW-LINE. That number again is 1-800-LAW-LINE.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom. Vicks Vapo Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, hockey fans, now with BetMGM, you can win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets when your anytime goal scorer nets 3. Enter BetMGM's Hat Trick Jackpot all season long for your chance to win some major bonus bets. It's easy. Just log in and opt into the promotion. Then make an anytime scorer bet on any hockey game of at least $10. If your player of choice scores 3 goals instead of just 1, you'll win your share of the $10K in bonus bets. There's nothing quite like watching a game with a hat trick, especially when it means you could win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are bonus bets that expire in 7 days.
Something big just rolled into 7-Eleven. Meet our 4 new Johnsonville sausages. Hot and ready on the roller grill. Smoky cheddar. Loaded with Wisconsin creamy cheddar smoked with real hardwood chips. Jalapeno cheddar. Bold and melty cheddar with a spicy jalapeno kick. Smoked Polish. Seasoned with black pepper and garlic, slow smoked for serious flavor. And ultimate Italian. Bursting with basil, oregano, rosemary, and thyme. Right now at 7-Eleven, get any 2 roller grill items for just $3.50. That's any 2 roller grill items for $3.50 at 7-Eleven. Valid through 3/3/26. Participating stores only. While supplies last. Visit store for full terms.
Hey, this is Tiki Barber. Those of us living in New Jersey got hit with a 20% electric rate increase. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, it's time for a new high-efficiency Carrier system. And there's only one company to call for a new one. My friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older heating systems waste gas. So get your system checked now and save money with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them now at edisonhvac.com. That's edisonhvac.com.
Got something to say about your team? Call 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Paramount Plus to stream every NFL on CBS playoff game.
We'll play NFL head coach bingo coming up at 12. We'll make our official prediction of where everyone is going to land. And in a few minutes, a new edition of Posted and Toasted.
This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. The Texans are moving on to the divisional round after a 36 win in Pittsburgh last night. The focus this morning has been on the futures of Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin. But how about the Texans getting some flowers here? They have not lost a game since Halloween weekend. Now they move on to New England for a Sunday afternoon game with a trip to the AFC Championship on the line. It should be noted this will be the first time in divisional round history, neither Fox or CBS, since both got TV partnerships, will broadcast a game on Sunday afternoon of divisional round weekend. This Fan Focus was sponsored by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Can't wait. I got a strong rooting interest on the AFC side. Let's go Texans. Let's go Broncos. Let's play a brand new edition of Posted and Toasted.
It's time for Posted and Toasted.
And Posted and Toasted is brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm. Injured? Visit injurylawyer.com. And Princeton Longevity Center. Experience the power of personalized medicine. This post is actually a recent one from January 11th, 2025. Who leaves the Chargers first? Justin Herbert or Jim Harbaugh? Is that Sean Morash, Pete Hoffman, Craig Carton, or Greg Giannotti?
Well, now I got to know all these other names.
Yeah, we got a lot of people around here.
I got noon people I got to think about.
I mean, Hoff you used to work with.
I know.
Craig's been around for a million years. It ain't that complicated.
Tell me the names again.
I forgot. Sean Morash, Pete Hoffman, Craig Carton, and Greg Giannotti. Who leaves the Chargers first, Justin Herbert or Jim Harbaugh?
That was Craig Carton.
You're wrong.
Pete Hoffman is the questionnaire.
Why would he say that? Why would he care?
I think he thinks the Chargers are on their way to just charging for the next few years.
But why does he care about the Chargers?
He's a sports fan.
I know he's a sports fan, but he's an East Coast sports fan. I said Craig because he did national for a couple of years.
By the way, my answer to that question would be Jim Harbaugh. Like, I think that when you have a franchise quarterback, even if that franchise quarterback underachieves over and over and over and over again, which Justin Herbert has, you're never in a rush to get rid of them. So Justin Herbert will outlast Jim Harbaugh.
I think you're right because Jim also doesn't feel like the guy who's going to throw his guy under the bus and say, we can't win with you, get us somebody else.
You know, honestly, if he was ever going to do that, he had that opportunity a few years ago when J.J. McCarthy was in the draft, and Jim obviously coached him in college, spoke up about him a lot during the draft process, and he very well could have traded Justin Herbert and drafted J.J. McCarthy. He didn't do it. This one is from January 3rd, 2016. Jim Harbaugh is a thinner version of Rex Ryan, choke artist in a big spot, completely overrated. Is that Craig Carton, Sean Morash, Evan Roberts, or Tommy Lugauer?
That's Tommy.
You whipping out a sound effect?
You can't find the you're wrong?
You're wrong.
I can't find the you're wrong. This isn't built to run two things at once. We're flying by the seat of our pants
So
here.
that's Craig?
No, you're wrong. Sean Morash.
What?
Yeah.
Teaching lab.
You're not.
My fat ass.
You're not a big fan of Jim Harbaugh?
No. Was never. Always thought he loses all these big games. Now, I think he made the Super Bowl after that, which kind of crushed me. Also wasn't his fault that the 49ers fumbled all of themselves versus the Giants. I was probably unfair. But you know what? It's aging well.
It is. This one is from January 9th.
Except for the national championship at the University of Michigan.
Oh, that's college. Come on, we can't count that.
That doesn't count. I agree with him. This one is from January 9th, 2026. I'm grinding. I'm eating right. I'm sleeping right. Recovering. They can call me a lot of things, but they'll never be able to say I'm fat. Is that person Al Dukes, Evan Roberts, Keith McPherson, or Jerry Recco? I named all the skinny people.
I know. That's you, Evan. No.
Am I really grinding and eating right and sleeping right?
I don't know. It just sounds something you tweet just to make yourself feel better.
No. Now, the answer is Keith McPherson.
KM to AM.
Yeah. He'll never, ever be fat. I agree. By the way, looking at his body, he'll never be fat. There are people who will eventually be fat like myself. I'm probably on my way to being fat. In fact, I may qualify as fat. We could let the YouTube audience decide that, since my belly jiggles all the time. So I think when you watch on YouTube, and I don't know if you know this, we're on YouTube now all the time.
I do know that.
I think people can comment. So the comment question I would ask the people in the YouTube chat is, am I fat?
Your desk blocks your belly.
Oh, all right.
So you're good.
I'm going to try to show my belly. This is my belly. As I hit it, am I fat? Or am I skinny fat? My friends used to call me skinny fat, which I don't think.
That's what it is.
Like you're skinny and you're scrawny, but
you're skinny fat and Sean is fit fat.
Either way, fat is still the arrival point.
And finally, our final tweet in Posted and Toasted. This one is also a recent one. This one is from January 11th, 2026. In response to the Ben Johnson F the Packers video, this person tweets, remember when Tom Landry would do this after winning a wild card game? Me neither. Coaches used to have class. Now everybody just throws F-bombs around. Total losers. Go paint your quarterback's fingernails.
Wow. Tiki's eyes lit up on that.
And by the way, this tweet is what they call viral. It has gone absolutely viral. I'm not even giving you hints. Who at this radio station tweeted that?
Gio?
You think Gio is angry about Ben Johnson saying F the Packers?
I don't know. Who's a Packer fan here?
So you think about things so wrong sometimes.
What else would it be?
It's just a football fan making an observation.
This is you?
The answer is Al Dukes.
A nice round
Why
S.
would he care?
I think he was bothered by Ben Johnson screaming F the Packers.
Why? It's a division rival.
Well,
we would say that about the Eagles.
I agree with you.
They say that about us. I am positive. We certainly say it about the Cowboys and vice versa.
I agree with you.
So why are you aggrieved by this, especially when you're not a fan of either team?
Well, first of all, I'm not aggrieved by it, but I think Al Dukes was representing a lot of people, usually older people, usually the get off my lawn people.
Okay, but why is he judging Caleb Williams because his nails are painted?
Yeah, that part was just like an extra jab.
By the way, the nail painting jokes went out the window when he made that pass on 4th down.
100%.
But Ben Johnson did get a lot of crap from fans out there about the F the Packers stuff. And not only that, the comments he's made about LaFleur. And to the point where yesterday at his press conference, Ben Johnson was asked not about Al Dukes' tweet specifically, but about the criticism of him screaming F the Packers, which is what he did. So even if you don't agree with Al, and I don't agree with Al either, it's gone to enough places where at his press conference, when the Bears are preparing for another round of the postseason, he's being asked about saying F the Packers. Now, before I play the clip, any guess on Ben? Do you think he apologizes? Do you think, hey, maybe I use salty language?
I don't know if he apologizes, but he says, I'm sorry that if I offended anybody.
You're going with a sorry if you were offended?
Yes.
Now, keep this in mind.
Which is a non-apology.
You're right. Keep this in mind. The owner of the Bears doesn't like cursing, and I think mentioned that on Hard Knocks, didn't want there to be a lot of F-bombs. So when Ben was asked about this yesterday, the owner was cited as, hey, I don't know if the McCaskey family is that thrilled about this.
Hey, you're you own a football team, dude. Are you serious?
Tiki's getting very bothered by this.
Do you know how much cursing there is in a football locker room?
I understand.
Around a football organization?
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
Here is Ben Johnson's response to the question about saying F the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, there's a rivalry that exists between these two teams, something that I fully recognize and I'm a part of. And yeah, I mean, I don't like that team. So George and I have talked and we're on the same page.
So no apology. And basically, F the Packers.
I have said I'm not a big Ben Johnson fan. I love that answer. One critique.
What's that?
He should have said at the beginning when he said, like I said, he should have said, like I said, F the Packers.
Right. Yes.
He should have just repeated it. But to clean it up, because it is a press conference and because it's the middle of the day, he didn't have to say the word. He could have just said F, like the letter.
Yeah, right.
F the Packers. But I have no issue with this. And I think that the people that do tend to be on the older side, and they also tend to be on the side of forgetting history. Like, I'm pretty sure Tom Landry dropped an F-bomb.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
And I think there's a damn good
chance. Just because he wore a suit on the sideline and looked the part of a classic head coach doesn't mean he wasn't cussing at those dudes.
Right. And it also doesn't mean, even though we had access, because NFL Films has been around for a while, so yes, we have access to these legendary coaches, we don't have the same access that we have now.
Right.
And there is a famous clip from 2000. Hate to bring up salty wounds, but it doesn't involve you. When the Ravens beat the Titans in the postseason, head coach Brian Billick, and I'm pretty sure he was screwing around when he said this, at the end of his speech, and everybody was filming it, he said, all right, guys, now put the cameras away. I want every camera away. All right. F the Titans! And everybody goes nuts. And I think it was like a nonk and a wave.
Right.
Or a wink, whatever that is.
A wink.
Yeah, I have it. So I don't think this is new. And I think that, to Ben Johnson's credit, this is a rivalry. And I think what we want as fans is for coaches and players to feel the same anger that we all have. And there's no doubt that Bear fans hate the Packers, just like you guys hate the Eagles, just like I hate the Patriots and the Dolphins and the Bills. And it would warm my cockles to hear my coach or my players repeatedly say, bleep the Patriots. That would make me happy. In fact, Francisco Lindor, if you're out there, I know you're working out, getting ready for the start of the season. If you want to say F the Dodgers or F the Phillies, I'm good with it. Marcus Simeon, you're the newest New York Met. You want to ingratiate yourself to us? Just say F the Phillies. Like, we all want that as fans. So I think Ben Johnson's cool, but congratulations to Al Dukes, because not only was that a viral tweet, it clearly pissed off Tiki.
It didn't piss me off. Just kind of, I don't know why he cares. It bothers me that he cares.
I kind of want, maybe tomorrow, you to go up to Al during one of the commercial breaks
and say, why do you care?
Confront him about the tweet, and I want to film it. I want to watch a Tiki Barber Al Dukes off air. They don't know I'm filming argument about Penn Johnson dropping the F word. On air won't be as good. It has to be like in the newsroom, like, they don't really know I'm filming. And then, of course, after the fact, I would tell you and Al that I was filming.
Right.
Of course, I couldn't keep it secret forever. Anyhow, good job, Sean. Maybe next time you'll get the sound effects better.
Yeah. Maybe next time I will.
Let's go to Rob in New London, Connecticut. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Evan, Tiki, how's it going?
Good, man. What's up?
That's good.
Hey, not too much. Hey, Tiki, real quick. So, the best game you ever played, in my opinion, was that 2002 Philadelphia Eagles game. And the funny story is I found out about it. My mother had to write me a letter, and I was at Recruit Training Command Great Lakes. So, well done. You had a great game.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
actually had to watch that game. Yeah, I had to watch that game a month later on a VCR back in the day when they actually had VCRs.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. There's sub 25-year-olds that are like, what's a VCR?
Right. And so, Evan, I have good news for you, Evan. You could always be a lot fatter. I think you look great. So, just so you know, you look great. Joe Shane, I know he gets a lot of crap, but the reason why I think this is a really great job, it's not, I mean, the salary cap, whatever, it's in the mid, but it's the dead cap situation. We're like tied for first in the league.
Right.
We have the best dead cap situation in 30 years, and next year we have what, 112 million in cap space. The following year for 2028,
right,
we have 236 million in cap space. We have no bad contracts on the books right now.
Right,
so
and that's what matters.
Good.
And that's what matters, Rob. Appreciate your call, because when you think about signing a free agent, forget the rookies because that's just allocated and based on where you're picking. But if you're signing a free agent, you're not lumping every bit of his guaranteed money into year one. It's a 3-4 year deal that's going to be spread out over the length of the contract, which means in year 2, 3, 4, the Giants will have so much more room because they're not worried about like 2 years from now being in a bad cap situation. 2 years from now, they're in a great cap situation. So you can sign whoever you want right now. I think it's a little bit overblown how bad the cap feels right now for the Giants. I think it mattered during this regular season, and probably it explained why they didn't make very many moves, even practice squad moves during the regular season, because their cap situation was bad.
Let's go to Andy in New Haven. Hey, Andy.
Good. I was almost at afternoon as a force I had to get out. Good morning, gentlemen. It's good to talk to you in this new slot.
Likewise. What's up, Andy?
It's funny, the Tiki and Al Dukes thing. It's funny. I remember I called you guys the day after Election Day a few months ago, and we hypothesized about what would be the best duel of political candidates from WFAN hosts or adjacent.
That's right.
And it was Tiki versus Al Dukes.
That's
and I think this would be great fodder for the debate.
I agree.
So I guess I had I'll couch my question like this. Over time, as a fan, I've kind of, started vendettas against certain players because of decisions that they've made in free agency or whether or not to enter the draft. And two come to mind in particular, and they really couldn't have gone any different directions. The first of which was Shohei Ohtani. When he decided to not join the Yankees, I was like, I will never support this guy for as long as he is an active or inactive MLB player, really under any circumstance. That one, I guess maybe I have a little bit of egg on my face. The other one was Justin Herbert when he decided to not enter the draft, when it kind of seemed like he was going to be the Giants draft pick. And I was just like so offended by it at the time. I was in college. I was very irrational, but I remember kind of thinking that at the time. And I guess my question is, and if I have time, I have a question. Really, I guess, okay, hold on. I'll do it this way. Evan, I'm curious if you have any animosity or your sentiment towards Sam Darnold. Like, if he wins a Super Bowl as obviously not a member of the Jets, is that like a proud dad moment, or is that like a UMF-er moment? And then my question about Justin Herbert is, where does he go from here? Like, is he cooked, or what is the prognosis for Justin Herbert, who I really don't like, but he just seems to not be able to figure it out under any situation?
Yeah, look, he's a good kid, and I think his desire to be great is there, but he keeps getting these weird little bang-ups like his hand, and which he did twice, because I think he did it again, and he played with it. And those things aren't a big deal, especially because it's his non-throwing hand, but it just makes it a little bit harder to be your best self. I think the bigger issue is that they haven't put like Pro Bowl players around him in the last couple of years. And he had a bad coach 2 years ago. Jim Harbaugh fixes that, obviously, but it's not been an ideal situation for him. It almost feels like that conversation we have when we talk about young quarterbacks. The situation's got to be good. Head coach has got to be right. The coordinator's got to be right. You got to have talent around them. Otherwise, you end up underachieving. Trevor Lawrence is the perfect example. Things got right around him, and look at the great season that he had. So it's circumstance. I like him as a player. I think circumstance has prevented him from being one of the best players.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Justin Herbert is good, but we expected him to be great.
Yes.
And he's not going to be able to make that jump until, like you said, there's better talent around him and he elevates his own game. So what's next for Justin Herbert? Nothing. He's going to be a Charger. He's going to be there for a long time. Hopefully, for his sake, they get better. I mentioned to you yesterday, they need to win a division. Not because L.A. is such a great home field advantage, but because going on the road on Wild Card Weekend is not easy. Right. It's not an ideal environment to go to Foxborough and try to beat the Patriots. So what's next for Justin Herbert is nothing crazy. Like, the Chargers are going to continue to grind, and hopefully, for their sake, they get better. Sam Darnold, it's weird. I like Sam Darnold. I was excited when they drafted him. I always believed in Sam Darnold. I wasn't exactly in favor of them getting rid of him. My attitude was, it's a new administration. I know they're getting rid of him, but I was certainly not against trading down with that pick and trying to put more talent around Sam. With that said, do I want Sam Darnold to win a Super Bowl? No. Am I going to be a proud dad if he does? No. But I'm also not sitting there actively rooting against him. So, like, when I sit down this weekend and it's Sam Darnold against the San Francisco 49ers, I'm probably going to be more of an IFO than I am as a fan. So, while I'm not actively rooting for him to win a Super Bowl, it's not like Rodgers or the Patriots or the Bills where I'm sitting there actively rooting against him. And keep this in mind about Sam. It's not as if he instantly succeeded when he left the Jets. He went to Carolina.
Right.
He sat in San Francisco. It's the Vikings that should probably regret losing Sam Darnold more than anybody else.
Kevin O'Connell did a great job with him, turned him into, I think, or helped him reach his potential, and then moved on because whoever's idea it was, whether it was him or Kwesi's idea to draft a quarterback, it made him expendable. And you're stuck with J.J. McCarthy, who there's still a question mark going to his third year.
Big time.
One, because of his first year missing the entire season and being injured, but this year, he was underwhelming for a lot of it.
Wouldn't stun me if they went after a veteran.
I 100% agree.
David is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hey, David.
Hey, guys. Hey, I'm the guy who said last week, and I wear the L, that it was a mortal lock that Harbaugh was going to Miami.
Yes.
Yes.
And, okay, so, Tiki, I absolutely love you as a player, as a broadcaster, everything else. But you said something earlier that I absolutely have to push back on. I've been a Giant fan since 1970. And you said that the fans kind of feel like it's their team and they blame Chris Mara for, even though they don't know Chris. That's not what it is.
Go ahead.
99.9% or more are working people, okay?
Of course.
And let me tell you what working people hate more than anything else. Nepotism. Nepotistic management. And John Mara and Wellington Mara have been terrible CEOs. Awful. All 5 Super Bowls you can trace to one decision. Pete Rozelle telling John Mara, you got to take George Young because we're not going to have this situation go on any longer. And George Young put those teams together, and he mentored Ernie Accorsi. And Ernie Accorsi and George Young were the 2 best things that ever happened to the Giants, and those decisions were thrust on him.
Right.
John Mara had the same. Wellington Mara had the same inept general manager for like 20 years before I think Andy Robustelli came in. But But the thing about dynastic wealth people, and I, as a business journalist for 40 years covering business and politics, I've seen this a million times. Dynastic managers don't hire for competence. They hire people they like and who are loyal to them because they never know who their real friends are. So they don't hire people for competence. That's why Giant fans are so pissed. By any measurement, independent measurement, Joe Shane should have been fired. If it was another kind of a company, he would have been fired by now already, plain and simple, because he's a failure as a general manager.
He's a failure because of his record, not because of who he's picked. But I could argue, and we had this conversation 2 weeks ago or a week ago, so many of these Giant losses are not on the general manager. They're not on the talent on the field. It's on the decisions that the coaching staff has made. And it's the Denver Broncos is the perfect example. It's the 3rd and 5 deciding to throw the ball instead of following every competent metric or statistic to run the ball, force the other team to use their final timeout, force them to go the length of the field to make it a 1-score game. It's a 2-score game at that point. There's no chance you lose that game. And the Giants throw an interception with a rookie quarterback. Whose decision was that? Right? That's whose fault it was. It wasn't because the Giants missed on Evan Neal 3 years ago. So, I can't help but separate what individuals' jobs are. Joe Shane's job, and I'm going to say he's done a fantastic job, but his job is to give talent, put talent on this team. The coaching's job is to win games, sometimes that you're not supposed to win, by making great decisions. And the Giants haven't had that.
Your calls continue later on, 888-808-1019. When we come back, NFL head coach bingo. We know all the vacancies. We've heard all the names. We put pen to paper and make our official predictions coming up. You guys know I'm always ridiculously busy juggling football, WFAN, cheer with my girls. I'm always on the go. I value feeling safe and knowing, more importantly, that my family is safe when I'm not with them. That's why I turn to our partners at Slomin's. They recently installed the Slomin Shield Link system into my home. It combines safety, convenience, and peace of mind, and I can manage it all from the palm of my hand with my smartphone. One of the things I like most is I can see anything that is around my house. So if someone is in my backyard unexpectedly, I can see them. And I can even talk to them through the cameras, which makes it fun. Sometimes people need to drop stuff off at my house. I control my garage. Just open the door, unlock the doors, and have them go in and drop it off and get right back out. I most like the music that I can start playing before I walk into my door. It is awesome having this Slomin Shield. You could experience it too. The future of home security and automation with the Slomin Shield Link system. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME or visit slomans.com.
This Odyssey Sports Minute is brought to you by Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Water Cleanup. Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
After 7 consecutive playoff losses and 9 years without a postseason victory, can Steelers owner Art Rooney II finally bring himself to have a difficult but necessary conversation with Mike Tomlin? Will he sit him down and say, you're not getting an extension on your deal? And will Tomlin then decide that rather than play quarterback roulette for another year, rather than be a lame duck, he'd rather go sit at a desk once a week with his buddy Jay Glazer? I'm Chris Mack.
Hey, Metro New York. Ready for real savings? Switch to Allstate today. Because drivers who switched saved an average of $713 on their auto insurance. So, what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for an auto insurance quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. Based on the national average annual savings for new customers surveyed in 2024, savings vary, subject to terms and availability.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Visit your local Kia dealers to discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. It's the perfect balance of quality, dependability, power, and style. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Let's go!
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Increasing clouds, high 47. Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
See what sets Mazda apart in the Mazda CX-5. The smart choice for those who expect more from their drive. With standard iActive all-wheel drive and advanced safety features, the CX-5 gives you confidence in every condition. Its effortless handling and responsive performance set it apart from the crowd. Inside, you'll find thoughtful, crafted design for comfort and connection. There's more to a Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5 for $209 a month. Visit your local Mazda dealer or MazdaUSA.com.
Hi, it's Sal Licata here for CertaPro Painters. You know, my home is a very happy place, especially when my wife is satisfied. And while that's not an easy thing for me to achieve, my friends at CertaPro Painters had no such problems. Big jobs, small jobs, the good folks at CertaPro Painters are at your service. If you've been putting off a painting project, give them a call at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with a C, and you'll see exactly what I mean. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4094. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-4094. That's 800-575-4094. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business?
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Talk sports here. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Paramount Plus to stream every NFL on CBS playoff game. Talk sports after hours with Tommy Lugauer, 7 to midnight. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
We have spent almost a week now, all of us, breaking down these head coaching vacancies. In a few short minutes, we put pen to paper and unveil our official predictions for each of these vacancies in a little game we like to play, Head Coach Bingo. Now, let me show you how this works. We just don't say it and have it go away. We save it and we grade ourselves. So, for example, back on the November 12th edition of Evan and Tiki, we went through all the major free agents in Major League Baseball and predicted where they would end up. Now, that process is still going on as we speak, but a few days ago, Alex Bregman signed a 5-year contract with the Chicago Cubs. So just to show you how this works before we dive into the head coaching vacancies, let us go to our prediction desk with Sean Morash and find out how we did on predicting back in November where Alex Bregman would end up. So, Sean, who should we start with?
Well, after that promo, why don't we go after hours with Tommy Lugauer here?
So I'm going to say Alex Bregman to the Phillies.
Incorrect. He is not a Philadelphia Philly. Who's next?
We'll go me. Seattle Mariners.
Incorrect. He is not a Seattle Mariner.
Brutal. All right, we'll go Tiki.
So I'm going to say Boston Red Sox.
Well, a lot of Red Sox fans hoped you were right that he would re-sign, but no, not the Boston Red Sox. How about me?
So I'm going to go with Alex Bregman picking the Detroit Tigers.
Damn it. So we all got it wrong. So currently on our scoreboard, Tiki Barber and I, Evan Roberts, have 2 points. You get a point for a guy remaining with his team, 2 points for a guy going to a new team. So Tiki and I have 2. Tommy has 1. Sean is 0. Has still not picked a correct free agent. But good news. Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, Paul Bichette, Framber Valdez, still out there in terms of free agent pickup.
God, this offseason takes so long for Major League Baseball.
I know.
And we say the same thing every year. But every year we get to January and we're talking playoffs in the NFL, and all of a sudden you'll get a signing. And it's like, what?
No, you're right.
I forgot that guy was still unsigned.
Luckily, with NFL head coaching free agent bingo, by the end of the month, we are going to have an answer.
Right.
Like, it will be clear as day. So let's start things off in the AFC with the Cleveland Browns.
This is the hardest one for me, dude.
You don't like me starting with the Browns?
No, I do, but I don't. And it's because I have 2 answers here.
Oh, come on.
The problem is, I think... All right, so I originally had Robert Saleh.
Oh!
Going to the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Because they like defense. And it just feels like their mentality. And Robert Saleh is a really good defensive coordinator, as we've seen both this year with the San Francisco 49ers and his previous stint with the 49ers. But I'm also of the gut that they're just going to elevate Jim Schwartz.
Really?
So.
Now, Jim Schwartz has coached before, obviously, with Detroit, and he had some level of success.
Yes. And he's there.
Yeah.
And they had a great defense this year. So I'm going to say Jim Schwartz.
Sean Morash.
I have Jim Schwartz written down.
Really? Both of you? Yeah, I'm going with the big one. They're going to end up with Mike McCarthy. Yeah, I think they're the team that says, you know what, culture builder.
Right.
We'll take the 12-5 where we're pissed off that we don't make the playoffs. The young quarterback. I'd be curious to think what McCarthy feels about Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Plus, Mike McCarthy feels like Cleveland. He's fat. He's disrespected. He's Midwest. He's from Pittsburgh, obviously.
Right.
So Mike McCarthy to Cleveland. The Las Vegas Raiders.
Brian Flores. I've been on this one for a while because I have a super team. Brian Flores with Brian Daboll and Raheem Morris.
Sean Morash.
I have Chris Shula.
Chris Shula.
You missed the obvious with Chris Shula, but that's all right. We'll get to it.
We'll get there. Yeah,
I did a lot of research for this with the interview list.
I want it to be Brian Flores because I think he deserves it. I am so skeptical he's going to get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
So I'm going away from it. I'm going to go Jesse Minter. I'm going to go a little Jesse Minter goes to Vegas. Tennessee Titans, Tiki Barber.
They need a coach who can help a young quarterback evolve into a player. Joe Brady.
Joe Brady.
After the Buffalo Bills get to the Super Bowl.
I like that.
All right. Joe Brady. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm going Mike McCarthy here.
To Tennessee?
I am.
All right. I'm going Matt Nagy to Tennessee.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think Matt Nagy's one of those guys who's destined to get a second opportunity. It's just a matter of when.
I've been on him for a while. It's time for him to come out of purgatory. He has no reason to be there.
So I got sold on Matt Nagy, not by you, though you tried, not by Brian Costello, he tried. There was an interview that CBS Sports did with him in which Nagy is going over the criticisms of him as a head coach to see if he's learned from it. And I thought it was fascinating and very self-reflective. So I'm now on the Matt Nagy train. In fact, a year from now, if things don't work out with Aaron Glenn, I'll be warmer to the Jets giving a shot to Nagy than I would have been a year ago.
Right.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Mike McDaniel.
We're going another head coaching job right away.
Right away. I know he wants the head coach right away, but think about what he did with Tua, with all the timing throws and detail on how that offense was supposed to execute. Tua just couldn't stop throwing interceptions in opportune time. Mike McDaniel with Lamar Jackson.
Scary.
That is scary.
That is scary. Sean Morash.
Jesse Minter.
I'm going with Chris Shula there. I think that the name recognition, the history of that name, the tradition in Baltimore, it's just too perfect.
You also missed the Mike Shula opportunity, but keep going.
Well, what is the Shula opportunity I'm missing?
We'll get to it.
All right. The Miami Dolphins.
Mike Shula.
Well, first of all, isn't it Chris Shula?
I mean, Chris Shula. Yeah. Yes.
I think I'd be confused.
Right.
It's not Heath Schuler either.
Right.
What's the deep? Oh, yeah, the Shula connection. Why Shula connection's better, though? Baltimore?
I guess.
So we both did the same thing if you really think about it.
No, you're right.
We just took variations on the Shula connection.
Right.
I went old school, you went new school.
Right.
I went
Chris Shula.
What is the one thing that bothers Bill Belichick? That he couldn't catch Shula. I went Brady hiring Shula.
Wait, so what? I'm very confused.
The one thing...
Oh, the Raiders. I got you.
Yes.
You already said, I got you. All right, what's your Miami prediction?
It's Jeff Hafley, the Green Bay connection with the GM.
Yeah, so this one is purely selfish.
Yeah.
This is a stick it to Evans, stick it to Beningo, stick it to BT, stick it to all the Jet fans out there. The next head coach of the Miami Dolphins will be Robert Saleh. He's coming. We know he's getting another opportunity.
No doubt. He's already getting interviews.
That's clearly happening, and the question is where. And I could totally see, by the way, Robert Saleh's going to walk in, look at Zach Wilson, and say, get the hell out.
Right.
Literally, get the hell out.
Right.
So I'm going with Robert Saleh to the Miami Dolphins.
That's a good one.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Arizona Cardinals.
This is where I have Mike McCarthy. Program fixer.
Yeah. So we all
they need it. And they need everything.
We all have Mike McCarthy going to a different place. Sean Morash, the Arizona Cardinals.
Robert Saleh.
I'm going with Clint Kubiak. Clint Kubiak. The Atlanta Falcons.
Sorry, Giant fans. John Harbaugh.
Wow. That was the swerve no one wanted to see. You think John Harbaugh is saying no to the Giants and yes to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
Damn, because Matt Ryan's that smooth.
Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan. Ice in his veins.
And Matty Ice. That's why they called him that. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm going with the guy currently sitting with Matt Ryan, Kevin Stefanski.
Me too. I'm going to completely agree with you. I think Kevin Stefanski ends up in Atlanta, which I know that's what it means for the Giants, which leaves us with the Giants. We'll do the Steelers in a second as like a bonus round. The New York Football Giants next head coach, Tiki Barber.
Kevin Stefanski. I have to stay true to what I said originally.
It's what you want too, by the way.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm going to go with John Harbaugh. I think it's happening. I think Giant fans, prepare yourself for something you have not felt in a very long time. Ecstasy, excitement, getting what you want. And I do think he is the clear choice. I think that all the indications are there that John would be intrigued by this opportunity. And I think by the end of the week, there's going to be an annoying celebration on this radio station from Giant fans. I say annoying because I'm jealous, but I respect the hell out of it. I think you're getting your man.
I agree. I think John Harbaugh will be the coach of the Giants. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, look at you. Finally coming around to positive goodness happening in your life. And finally, it is possible that by the end of today or tomorrow, there'll be a breakup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin. Let me be the first to tell you that their next head coach will be Marcus Freeman, formerly of Notre Dame.
What? He's going to renege on his commitment to go back to Notre Dame?
1,000%.
Why?
You know what? Sean, pull the clip for me. I have a clip. Oh, you probably didn't even get it ready. I have an interesting report about Marcus Freeman. Not my report.
Right.
It's from the great Ian Rappaport, who's very good at reporting NFL information about Marcus Freeman. Because to Tiki's point, it came out a few weeks ago when Freeman's name was linked everywhere, including the Giants.
Right. The AD was adamant. No matter who wants you in the NFL, we are keeping Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. And then we saw, even though we didn't hear a contract extension, we did hear something about him committing to stay at Notre Dame.
That's what we heard, but we didn't hear the specifics. Here is a report from Ian Rappaport from just this past weekend around the potential candidacy of Marcus Freeman.
My understanding is Marcus Freeman, who did receive a contract adjustment, not extension, adjustment from Notre Dame for his agreement to stay. These teams who viewed him highly still believe there is a chance that he comes to the NFL. They still believe, Mike, he is a top-tier candidate. Now, it would probably not be like Marcus Freeman come in and interview. It would be they go through the process and then say, this is the guy we want. That's really the only way it would work. But Marcus Freeman still looms large in the NFL coaching carousel.
So if you believe that report, and I do, Ian Rappaport's one of the best at it, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the special kind of organization that would cause Marcus Freeman to say, screw it, I'm going back on the contract adjustment. I'm coming to the NFL. Plus, Freeman's talked positively about the Steelers before.
Right.
I think if Pittsburgh makes the move, that's where they go.
That's an interesting one. I'm going to say Jesse Minter here for the Steelers, if it becomes available.
Sean?
I think the Steelers are so due to hire a coach and realize he's not the right guy 2-3 years down the line. I think they just promote Arthur Smith.
Oh, God.
I was thinking about that. Like, literally, as I was thinking about the Steelers, I was like, they could promote Arthur Smith. He has head coaching experience. Could you imagine?
I mean, if Robert Saleh gets another shot, and he was basically exactly the same record-wise, 7-10 every single year.
I'm not saying that Arthur doesn't deserve another shot. What I am telling you is the Steeler fans are not going to be good with it.
No. Look, Arthur Smith also kind of rubs some people the wrong way, just to how his personality is. So I don't know how much of Steeler Nation knows that. Like, you know it because when he was head coach in Atlanta, you just saw it. But you don't really see the coordinator. You get to blame him, but you don't see him. You don't hear him speak all the time. So that would be surprising, Sean, if that happened.
Yeah. That would be Steeler fans would lose their freaking minds if that happened.
I agree with all of you. I'm just saying, you're already late to the party in interviewing, and aren't they due as an organization to clunk this up?
Yeah. No, you're right. They absolutely are. By the way, if it's available, we don't even know if it's going to be available.
No, I get you.
Even though our gut feels like, my gut feels like it is going to be.
But more so because of the choosing of Mike Tomlin than the Steelers breaking up with
because he knows. We led our show with this. It just feels like Mike Tomlin has banged his head against the wall over and over and over and over again. And the failings, in large part, are due to offensive ineffectiveness. And that's basically the quarterback. Ever since Ben left, who have been the quarterbacks? And so you win too much. You're always picking 20 to 27, and you never get to draft one or develop one, and then going in free agency and taking some disgruntled quarterback from some other team, just they're not available. Not anymore. So I think he might say, I'm good, man, and walk away for a year.
All right, we'll check in on these results as the entrants come in or the results come in over the next couple of weeks. 888-808-1019, the number. Joe is in Hamden, Connecticut. Good afternoon, Joe.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's up?
Good.
Yeah, I had a question for Tiki. You remember the game in Chicago when Love got the concussion?
Yes.
And
yes. During the regular
I just
season.
think, the NFL talks a lot about how they care about the concussion protocol. But the guy that tackles, I don't even know his name, but he slammed him. It was like an assault.
Yeah, it was.
And all they got was a 15-yard penalty. He didn't get suspended.
Right.
No one even talked about it.
Well, he got
they
fined.
Right. He did get fined?
Yeah, and so that's the thing, Joe. But the fine it doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? You get a $10,000, $15,000 fine. What does that do to you?
Suspension of games does something.
100%. And they do that in college.
Yes.
Right? Or
targeting. And they eject you from games.
They eject you immediately from the game. I don't know if they suspend you in college, but something along that lines would, especially if it's repeated, like
Vontaze Burfict.
Perfect, exactly, for the Steelers. No, against the Steelers. He was with Cincinnati. He always was hitting Antonio Brown and the Steelers.
Yes.
I mean, I think he concussed him at least twice, maybe 3 times. Right? But and he ultimately got suspended. That's how you prevent it. But it's hard to push this on repeat offenders because you don't always see repeat offenders.
Artie's in Brooklyn. Hey, Artie.
Hey, Artie.
Guys, welcome to the 10 o'clock spot, man.
Appreciate
I miss you guys.
Thank you, man.
So I got a plan. I want to see if you guys agree, okay? Instead of taking a chance with more, you need so many more players. You trade the 2, and you find a team like the Cardinals that would want to start over. You take their quarterback that they're not happy with, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
You draft a guy that's a mini-me in college right now, which is Chambliss. And then you go and get the offensive coordinator that coached Murray. What do you think? You get 2 defensive guys in the first round. You have your quarterback in Murray. You have your future quarterback in Chambliss. And you finally got an offensive coordinator.
Here's my question, and I don't know if Sean...
Talking about Cliff Kingsbury, obviously.
I don't know if Sean remembers it or you remember it. How did the relationship between Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray end? I know that Kyler's best success came with Cliff Kingsbury, but obviously it came with a breakup.
I think it ended somewhat contentious only because everybody found out about the contract. Remember, his contract had a clause in it about whatever work habits and work dedication.
There were some thoughts that Cliff was slipping things to the media because he wanted him to work harder, and the whole video game thing came out as a result. People thought it was because of Kingsbury.
Yeah, that's a problem right there. Because I know that we see connections and say, "Ooh, that makes sense."
Right.
But maybe it's a bad connection. Maybe it's one of those connections that won't exactly be rekindled joy.
But with that being said, Kyler Murray had his best seasons with Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a Pro Bowler.
He was.
Rookie of the Year.
I don't think there's any question that when you look at his resume, that's where he had his best success. Of course. Josh is in Far Rockaway. Hey, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? First of all, Evan and Tiki, welcome back to the spot. Evan, I'm getting flashbacks to high school 15 years ago listening to you on 10 o'clock. This is what I'm used to.
That's great.
I want to say regarding the Giants, listen, I disagree with you, Tiki. I think that Shane was a mistake. I think the Giants dropped the ball. I think they could have and would have and should have started over. And you're a very positive guy, right? But everything you could tell me about why Shane is a positive, I'll just point to the record and I'm going to win because it's been horrendous. But the way I look at this now, I'm a little more calm than a couple of weeks ago. If they get Harbaugh, I think he supersedes the GM. Meaning if they hire Stefanski and they win 5 games this year and they blow it up and then they hire a new GM, that guy has the right to say, listen, Stefanski's not my guy, and everyone's on a messed up timeline.
Right.
I don't think any new GM, the best case scenario, they win 12 games, they get Harbaugh, everything's great. Worst case, they win 4 or 5 games, he goes to ownership and says, listen, this GM is not great. You got to bring in another guy, and they'll do it. And the new guy will want to keep Harbaugh. So that's the only way I see this really working out well. So I just wanted to say that, and, hopefully they get him and take it from there.
Look, Josh, if that's the result for the New York Giants, you're right. If John Harbaugh is the head coach of the New York Giants, then you're not worried about the GM anymore.
No, not at all. Right. And I think he's right that Look, John takes over. I think the expectations for the Giants next year are going to be very high, not just from Giant fans, from me. I would look at them as they're a 9-win football team. Like, John can make that difference.
Right, but the reality is so much of it's going to depend on what the staff looks like.
Sure. But I trust, based on his history of building good staffs, that he'll build a good staff.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that if they had a bad first year, there would be zero discussion of John Harbaugh being one and done. It would merely say, okay, let's change the GM. He's going to bring in his own guy and go from there. I think it's different if it's not John Harbaugh.
I know. I hear you. And look, this is my thoughts on John and versus Kevin Stefanski are they're a little bit nuanced, but and it's only because when I look at what defenses are starting to do in the NFL, you're going to have to start combating what defenses are doing. I showed it to you yesterday when we were looking at what game was that? We were looking the Bears. No, it wasn't the Bears.
I think it was the Patriots.
The Patriots. You're looking at what the Patriots are doing defensively. That's really confusing. It's hard. And you're going to need an offensive mind. So either you're hiring a great coordinator who's the next, head coach somewhere else in 2 years, or you're hiring one of these innovative, contemplative offensive minds to combat what defenses are starting to try to do, then if you don't do that, you're going to be behind. You just are.
What Aaron Rodgers said about the state of the way we hire and fire head coaches was really interesting. We'll hear it coming up. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
If you're looking to level up your wardrobe, check out Collars & Co. You might have seen them on a Shark Tank where they landed a deal with Mark Cuban. They're the team behind the dress collar polo that's sold in over 1 million shirts so far. Now they've launched the Maverick Performance Blazer, and this thing is legit. It's sharp, lightweight, and completely wrinkle-resistant. It's perfect for travel. We all know that nobody likes to dress up anymore, but if you have a Maverick Performance Blazer, it looks casual or it looks perfectly clean and churched up. You can just pack it up, and it comes out looking fresh. Plus, you get smart features like security zip pockets, a sunglasses loop, and an optional pocket square. So hit up collarsandco.com. Use code Tiki for 20% off. That's at collarsandco.com.
This portion of the program is sponsored by Call Sheet. Trade on anything. Make money trading on sports, politics, culture, and more legally nationwide with Call Sheet. From sports to Bitcoin and even the Oscars, if it matters, you can trade on it. Trade the game, player props, and more.
It may be the off-season for the Bombers and Amazons, but there's no off-season for Yankees and Mets talk. Get the latest here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the divisional round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts means more way to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in. Take your shot at an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Maybe you'll parlay each team's lead running back to score an anytime touchdown. And apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/New York and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. We just love the app around here. It's safe and secure. When you win, you get paid instantly. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of WFAN. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issues now. Drawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with the gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win? So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then.
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
At Nielsen, fun is in the driver's seat.
Your best year starts with a savings. Don't miss the January Jumpstart event at Nielsen Dodge.
That's right, Chels. We're ready to start your new year with low lease payments to get you driving.
Lease a new 2026 Dodge Durango GT Plus all-wheel drive Hemi V8, just $299 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4, just $359 a month. Or choose from hundreds of quality certified pre-owned vehicles.
With zero down payment and the credit help you deserve.
Come see all the great savings we've lined up so you can start your new year driving happy and hassle-free. Let the fun begin.
On Route 10 in East Hanover. Online at NielsenDodge.com. A proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
At Nielsen Dodge.
Fun is in the driver's seat.
Start something new sales event. With approval term Durango 36, Ram 42 months due at sign, Durango 55.99, Ram 59.54 at tax tag 498 dock and DMV fees.
Take the guesswork out of cooking, folks. The Chef IQ senses a must-have wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking chicken, fish, or steak. Order the newly released third-generation Chef IQ Sense at chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Everybody knows Town Fair Tire is New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer, beating all the local competitors with our guaranteed lowest prices. And now, with over 120 stores throughout New England, we beat all the competition, including the warehouse clubs, the online sites, and the local dealers. Yes, we beat them all with the absolute guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Orgavada Zona? Is that a word? In the 2026 Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid, it might as well be, because it can be one road trip. It's all about turbocharged power and hybrid efficiency working together, so you get the thrill of quick acceleration and the satisfaction of fuel efficiency. Book a test drive and keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
It's been over 7 years since Pastor Billy Richards was treated successfully for prostate cancer by Perlmutter Cancer Center, the world's #1 cyberknife program. After 5 treatments in 1 week, Pastor Billy went right back to leading his Brooklyn congregation.
Cyberknife was truly a blessing for me, my family, and my ministry. If you have prostate cancer, I urge you to look into Cyberknife.
For an appointment, call NYU Langone's Perlmutter Cancer Center at 833-1-CYBER. That's 833-ONECYBR.
Straight Talk presents The Math of More. Here's how it works. When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
It's good to let it out by calling the WFAN Sports Fan Helpline. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Paramount Plus to stream every NFL on CBS playoff game.
Coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, I'm going to play for you the greatest, I really do think it's the greatest post-game press conference I've ever heard from a head coach or manager. We'll get to that coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. And also the latest on Mike McCarthy, who is visiting and meeting with the New York Football Giants today.
This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. How about the Johnnies? They continue Big East play at MSG this evening with a 6:30 p.m. tip hosting Marquette. St. John's blew out Creighton over the weekend. And after a mass start to the season, the Johnnies are one of 3 teams with 1 loss in Big East play thus far, with just UConn as the lone remaining unbeaten in the conference. And speaking of UConn, they're at the Rock tonight to take on Seton Hall as well. It's a big night for the Big East locally.
I am a front runner when it comes to college basketball and hockey. Like I always say that. When the playoffs start, I'll watch every Islander game. But during the regular season, I don't watch them the way I watch the Nets or the Mets or the Jets. I am the same way with Seton Hall. And I just found out, like last night, like Seton Hall's off to a great start, and they're ranked 25th in the nation, and they are playing UConn tonight. So tonight is the perfect night when you look at the sports calendar, because the Islanders are the only local professional team in action.
More on them next hour.
What was that?
More on them next hour.
Okay. Well, they're in Winnipeg tonight, but no Nets, no Knicks, no Rangers, no Devils. Tonight is the perfect night to check in on the Pirates of Seton Hall. Like, oh, okay, you guys are good. I'll pay attention.
Are you going to do it?
I see what you did there. Tiki just told me he's getting hungry. So fill our belly, Sean.
Sean Moraes in the booth. Somebody hide the castle. Optics flying, phones ringing, Evans yelling. No! Tiki's laughing, chaos cracking. Nobody's in control. It's Cinco de Roncho. Crunch, let's go!
Cinco de Luncho is brought to you by Felix Wireless, connecting everything everywhere. I like to be ahead of things. I like to be ahead of things. So I am anticipating that at some point when he climbs out of whatever hole he decides to go into around late February, Aaron Rodgers is going to... Maybe Aaron Rodgers doesn't even tell us he's retired. We still don't know who he married. So he could have played the last game of his career.
That is so true. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah. Wore the wedding ring all year. Who knows?
We don't know who his wife is.
Like, would it shock anybody if he just stops playing football? We never heard he retired.
I almost think that's the likeliest scenario.
Yeah,
we just never hear from him again.
It's
at least
insane.
for a while.
So I'm going to give you, in what I think was the last game ever, Aaron Rodgers' 5 greatest career accomplishments. Oh, hold on.
This is totally going to be douchey.
Here we go! Number 5.
No question in my mind.
How about Aaron Rodgers quarterbacked only one of 6 regular season teams in the 16-game era to finish 15-1? What a year that was for him. Obviously, it didn't end the way he hoped. A little divisional round stumble versus the Giants, but 15-1 that year. Just an incredible season for Aaron Rodgers.
And all I could think about is the fact that they went 15-1 and didn't win a playoff game.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have a year like that, losing the Super Bowl, losing a championship game. He lost in the divisional round to the New York Giants. So far, I'm going to be pretty accurate. This is a complete troll job. The first one is pro-Giants. Keep going.
I mean,
Number 4.
How about Aaron has the lowest career interception percentage of any QB to throw at least 1,500 passes? When you think about it in this perspective, he has 213 less interceptions in his career than Brett Favre.
That is incredible.
Wow.
It's why when you look at this...
Favre retired with every record, including the bad ones.
Well, because no one threw a bigger, worse interception than Brett Favre. I mean, he was the king of it.
Well, he had 2, didn't he?
2 what?
2 very public, massive interceptions in championship games.
Corey Webster, obviously, with the Giants, and in the
Vikings Saints.
I'm going to hit you game. What do they call that thing again?
The Bounty Gate.
The Bounty Gate. I always forget the name Bounty. Yeah.
Last night, for the record, I thought when Aaron Rodgers threw that pick 6 to end it, that him and Favre would both end with playoff interceptions. I forgot that Brett Favre played the next year in Minnesota. Did you remember that?
Yes. He came back the next season, yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
I have no memory of that year for him.
Well, I thought that was his last year, like his last 2 seasons, his last career games. His last stops ended with interceptions.
No, because what happened is after a year like that, a great regular season, losing in the title game, Brett came back and eventually got hurt. That's how his streak ended. I think he got concussed. And so, like we all kind of figured with Brett, he wasn't going to decide to end his career. Someone was going to decide it for him. And unfortunately, in that following year, 2010, that's when it happened. I don't remember much about the season, but I do remember he came back, he played, he got hurt. Goodbye.
Okay.
Number 3.
Number 3 is simply this. The man won 4 NFL MVPs. I mean, 4 is an incredible number. So that's number 3 on the accomplishment.
He is statistically, you talk about the interception percentage, you talk about the fact that he never threw interceptions, the touchdown passes, the MVPs. Statistically, he is up there with the best of the best.
All right, here we go.
Number 2.
Number 2 is he won a Super Bowl, but not only that, he won a Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy as his head coach. And Aaron Rodgers might have single-handedly inflated this coaching search for Mike McCarthy, because it's the one thing we lean back on. He won a Super Bowl.
That's so unfair.
My list.
I mean, it's just unfair.
Why is that unfair?
Because he's acting like Mike McCarthy is a tub of goo. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was also a 27-year-old, only 3 years of experience quarterback at the time. How about we give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit for helping Aaron Rodgers get his 1 Super Bowl? Because if he doesn't win that Super Bowl, he's the modern-day Dan Marino, and that's not a compliment.
Or you just say they were a good team together.
Yeah.
Correct.
They didn't win the division that year.
Yeah, they were the 6th seed, believe it or not. They won all their games on the road, including the NFC title game in Chicago. And what I remember about that...
at Philly, at Atlanta, at Chicago.
I know about the Chicago game as the NFC title game. They were favored in those games. Like, they finished the season in a way in which you knew what was going on.
Right.
Like, despite the fact that they were the 6th seed, like, they were expected to break through and get there.
Wait, so who won the division?
Chicago.
Oh,
they won the NFC championship game in Chicago, and Chicago was either the 1 or the 2 seed that year. Memory serves correct.
With no quarterback, but what an accomplishment by Mike McCarthy. All right, here we go.
Number 1.
And the number 1 greatest career accomplishment for Aaron Rodgers has to be making people say the word Super Bowl and Jets in the same sentence for an entire summer. I mean, imagine how great you got to be for that to have happened.
Oh, that's a great one.
And that's Cinco de Five. I'm sorry, what is we doing?
Luncho.
Cinco de Lunch.
Was I right, though, that entire list was either a troll at Rodgers or we cap it all off with a troll at the Jets? That's exactly what it was.
He's not wrong, though.
No, he is right. The only time in my lifetime, I shouldn't say that
because 15, right?
What do you mean 2015?
I mean,
no, I never thought they were going to win a Super Bowl in 2015, but they were good. They won 10 games and lost Week 17 in Buffalo. But no, I think the two other times I thought legitimately about the Jets winning a Super Bowl was the early days of the Rex era when they're in the title game in back-to-back years.
Right.
And then obviously Vinny in 98 and then even the start of the 99 season. But outside of that, you go into seasons hoping for the best. You don't go into seasons thinking about a Super Bowl.
You're right, and you've said it before, but if you really think about it now, we are still in the midst of this drought, the longest in professional sports, and for a minor couple months, everybody thought the Jets had a chance to win a Super Bowl.
In that context, you're right. Nobody would say the Jets were going to make a Super Bowl, and all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers was here, and everybody thought the Jets were winning the Super Bowl.
Well, I think it was a combination. First of all, I can only speak for myself. I never thought the Jets were winning a Super Bowl. What I thought was
he did.
Well, he should think that. I think any professional athlete should think that. But I think most Jet fans just hoped we were going to be competitive, get to a title game, go on a playoff run. I'm not sure many Jet fans thought they were going to win a Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
With all you gave/paid for Aaron Rodgers, wasn't that the point?
Well, I think that's always the goal. But if you're asking me, did I think they were winning a Super Bowl? I never thought that. And I don't think a lot of Jet fans thought that. I think that's something that you guys claim we said.
No. You're mishearing what Sean said. Nobody said it from our standpoint. Aaron Rodgers said it.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers made it the talking point.
As he should.
Don't say no fans. Fans said it after Aaron Rodgers.
No, but I will never hold it.
Don't put this on the Giant fan, Evan. This was completely on Aaron Rodgers and the Giant sycophants that said, yeah, you're right, Aaron. We need another trophy next to that one from 80 years ago.
But an athlete talking about his goal of winning a championship, I'll never have an issue with that. Like, you should have that goal, even if it's far-fetched.
You're missing the point, Evan.
But don't say that fans.
Maybe I am missing the point.
Evan, you were the outlier, not the majority.
The outlier in what regard? That I didn't think they'd win a Super Bowl?
Dude, we all had to sit here for months as non-Jet fans and listen to how many calls to the station, how many people going, we're finally going to do it. You're burying your head in the sand if you don't think that happened.
Hey, if that's really what happened, I'll give you a homework assignment. I'll give you a week to uncover it. I want you to pull all the phone calls from the archives of WFAN that show Jet fans saying we're going to win the Super Bowl.
You know what?
When you present that, I'll say I'm sorry.
If I have time to do that, I will. But this is just so typical of you. I prove the audio to prove it. We lived it, and you're forgetting it. And that pisses me off.
We lived an era in which the expectations were raised. But the idea that, like, it was different with the Nets. I think, yes, the 12 Net fans out there legitimately thought, well, KD and Kyrie are here. They're going to win a title. And they were title favorites. The Jets were never title favorites. We hoped they'd be good. We thought they had a chance. But no, I don't think there was an overwhelming arrogance that the Jets were winning a Super Bowl. And citing Aaron Rodgers' confidence and the lines that he gave us to make us happy, I don't think it's fair. I'm talking about the athlete saying he thinks he's going to win.
Okay.
Juan Soto also said he expects a dynasty with the Mets. Remember that line?
Yeah. What about the fake magician that showed up on Hard Knocks that told everybody the Jets are winning the Super Bowl? Does he count?
Well, the difference with exactly.
Remember that?
Exactly right. The Hard Knocks thing. I forgot about that until you just mentioned it. The problem with Juan Soto is that no Met fan followed suit. No Met fan was like, he's right. We got a dynasty. You immediately said, well, who's our ace?
You clearly never listened to Tommy Lugauer when he was around here.
No, I didn't. But Tommy's so positive, you kind of have to discount some of it. But no Met fan was like, Juan Soto's right. We have a dynasty on the making.
Speaking
You're worried about what the hell is Clay Holmes going to look like as a starting pitcher.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, he had some interesting comments after the game last night. Obviously, he didn't really offer much about his career. He said he's going to give it time, which I totally respect. But he was asked about Mike Tomlin. And it led to this kind of diatribe speech from Aaron Rodgers on not only the state of our country, but the state of the way we treat head coaches. Take a listen.
I mean, this league has changed a lot in my 21 years. When you hear a conversation about the Mike Tomlins of the world, Matt LaFleur's of the world, those are just two that kind of I've played for. And when I first got in the league, there wouldn't be conversation about whether those guys were on the hot seat, but the way that the league is covered now and the way that there's snap decisions and the validity given to the Twitter experts and all the experts on TV now who make it seem like they know what the hell they're talking about. To me, that's an absolute joke. And for either of those two guys to be on the hot seat is really apropos of where we're at as a society and a league.
So, do you agree with that? Basically, our society is leading us to put guys on the hot seat who don't deserve it?
If he's going to take a shot at people who sit at desks and talk about football, he should take a shot at people who are uninformed and talk about Mike Tomlin. I've never said Mike Tomlin was on the hot seat, and we talk about him frequently. I think Mike Tomlin is going to walk away from the game and go sit on a beach for a year. This came up when everybody started pining for Mike Tomlin for the New York Giants. I'm talking like months ago.
Yeah.
And
years ago, too. It's been going on for a while.
Right. And so I think Mike Tomlin is not on a hot sheet. He will leave Pittsburgh when he wants to leave Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh would ever fire him. And if they did, it would be a mutually agreed separation. So he's right, but he's wrong pertaining to Mike Tomlin. Because anybody who knows the Steelers and the Rooney organization, they know that that's not going to happen.
He may not have been on the hot seat with ownership because we've never been given an indication that ownership would move on him, as you said.
So if you don't know that the owner is saying this is a, like, what's her name in Indy, Sean, the new owner?
Carly Ursay.
She basically put that entire staff, Ballard, the general manager, and
Shane
Steichen, on the hot seat right after the season.
Yeah.
The last game. There better be an urgency next year to win. And so that group is on the hot seat. The Steelers will never, ever do that. Of course, the fans will.
Well, that's where he's been on the hot seat. He's been on the hot seat with fans.
But Aaron wasn't talking about the fans. He was talking about people who talk about the Steelers. And I don't think most Steeler pundits are saying Mike Tomlin was on the hot seat. And if you are, you're uninformed.
Well, was LaFleur on the hot seat?
Mike LaFleur?
I mean,
Matt LaFleur?
He brought him up, too. He brought up LaFleur as well, which I thought was very interesting. Clearly has a respect for LaFleur. He said, if you think he should be on the hot seat, you're crazy, too. He brought him up as well.
But who's saying that Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat?
Well, you know what this gets down to?
Because I don't think anybody said that.
What's the definition of being on the hot seat? Like, if an owner has to publicly say it, or it needs to be reported by NFL insiders? What's the hot seat?
The latter.
Okay.
When an NFL insider says Mike Tomlin's on the hot seat, I'll believe it. But I don't think that that's the case. You'll never hear that from Pittsburgh. I don't think we heard that from Green Bay.
Yeah, I think what's going on in society, to comment to Aaron Rodgers, is we all have more information, we all have more access, we all have more ways of offering our opinions. You would never have heard a fire Tomlin chant in any sports stadium 60 years ago. Right. Maybe 30 years ago, right. Yes. We act differently. And
true.
Where I'm mixed about this is Mike Tomlin is a great head coach. I would give up a finger for him to be the head coach of the New York Jets. Same thing with LaFleur. They're both wonderful head coaches. But I also understand that when you're in that slog, where, yes, your culture's good, yes, you win a lot, but you can't break through, I understand that, hey, maybe it's self-evaluation time. It doesn't mean Mike Tomlin and LaFleur are idiots. It just means, I get it. I think the best example is Yankee fans with Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. Mm-hmm. They're the same. They've had success. You can't argue it. They were in the World Series a year and a half ago.
Right.
But there's that, hey, they haven't broken through. Anyhow, what do you want, Sean?
Will Salmon from The Athletic.
We have a baseball update?
Yeah, it's now not breaking the glass because it's not a signing, but he's done some fishing around, and he is saying that the Kyle Tucker to the Met news is legitimate. Multiple meetings have took place, and there is a proposed contract on the table, 3 years, between 120, 140 mil over those 3 years.
So that's about 47 a year, kind of in that range?
That's a big AAV. I mean, but that feels median.
Yeah, very median, because it's
short deal, big AAV.
Keep this in mind about David Stearns and Steve Cohen, both of them. They have not given out a lot of long-term contracts.
I think one, right?
In David Stearns' case, one, and that is Juan Soto. Mm-hmm. He tried Yamamoto,
right,
but everyone else was 3-year deals, 2-year deals, opt-out deals. Steve Cohen, before David got here, in trying to bridge the gap with his pitching, gave out monstrous AAV short-term deals to Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander.
Right.
So based on that, based on David Stearns not wanting to go long-term and Steve Cohen's willingness to go high AAV short-term, it makes sense that this is what the Mets are trying to do with Kyle Tucker. It would be awesome if they pulled it off. I remain very skeptical that the Dodgers aren't going to offer something better. And I also remain skeptical that Kyle Tucker wouldn't just prefer the longer-term deal that the Toronto Blue Jays are likely offering.
Well, there we go.
Well, you got to turn the mic on, Sean.
This sucks. We have baseball breaking news.
Is it involving Kyle Tucker?
No. Son of a bitch. Jeff Passan. Nolan Arenado has finally been traded.
Oh, okay.
Not to the Yankees.
Not to the Yankees.
The
we can now
Diamondbacks.
finally disprove Evan's brain.
Yeah, I reported for a year Arenado to the Yankees, according to my brain. So where's he going, Arizona?
He is going to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
There you go.
For Jack Martinez.
Okay.
And we'll pay cash. The Cardinals will receive Jack Martinez and pay cash.
They pay some cash. They got to pay down part of that contract. Yeah, Arizona was linked for a while with Alex Bregman, so they get Nolan Arenado.
And the Diamondbacks have made another familiar move.
Yeah.
They've added Johnny Loizaga.
Good. I'm glad. I thought the Mets were going to sign him.
Minor league deal.
I thought the Mets were going to bring in another Yankee reliever. Yeah, I appreciate you breaking the glass and giving us the Arenado news. But seconds after you're breaking down the Met offer on Kyle Tucker, you break the glass. You made my heart skip 15 times.
Well, you pissed me off denying that Aaron Rodgers and Jet fans were in cahoots. So now you get there and you get a little payback.
Do you think the Mets are going to end up winning this Kyle Tucker sweepstakes?
I
want to believe it. I just don't.
You know me, Evan, for the last 3 years, when things get like this, where it's a really good player, I always default to the Dodgers.
And the Dodgers could use him.
And
they're linked to him.
And they're linked to him. They could pay him whatever he's desiring. And it could be an opt-out, 1 year opt, not a long-term, 1 year, 2 year opt-out. And then he gets back into free agency.
Yeah.
Go win a championship, re-enter free agency. Yeah, you're 28 instead of 27, but you're going to get paid. So I can't help but think Dodgers.
Yeah, that's where I lean to, unless he prefers the longer-term deal that the Toronto Blue Jays had been linked to.
Yeah.
The beauty for Tucker, and for anyone who says, well, why would he do it? Why not just take the long-term deal? What's the benefit to a short-term deal? Number one, Kyle Tucker fell off the rooftop in the second half last year with Chicago, so his final numbers were not great. He has a chance, because you look at his career resume, he's a hell of a ball player. He could have a monster season and re-enter free agency. But the other huge factor, which I brought up to you yesterday, is that the free agent market for the next 3 years when it comes to position player is barren. It does not feature impact bats like Kyle Tucker.
Right.
So he has a chance to re-enter free agency, even if it's not next year, the year after that, as the unquestioned best offensive player.
Right. Supply and demand benefits him if he's a year or 2 years from now.
Correct.
100%.
Now, right now, he's about to turn 29 years old, so that would mean entering free agency in his 30s, his age 30, 31, or 32 season. But again, if you're putting up massive numbers and you're the only game in town when it comes to free agency, you could do incredibly well. So fingers crossed, but what I will project to you is I think we're going to get an answer on Kyle Tucker before we get an answer on John Harbaugh.
Wow.
Yeah, you like that prediction?
I mean, John Harbaugh has so many things to think about, so many options, and he's going to be number one essentially on everybody's list except for the Baltimore Ravens. So I hope it gets done quickly, but I don't think it will.
John, I think, may decide by early next week or the end of this week. I think we're days away with Tucker, maybe hours away. There may be our first quandary for Pete Hoffman. Hoff's going to be in a tricky spot at 4:15 when I say, let's do a Rico, and Craig's staring at him saying, you better press the buttons, right? I know what Hoff's going to do.
What's he going to do?
He's going to do the right thing. He's going to press record on that Rico.
And then walk away.
And then Craig's going to fire him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to end badly.
Why? Speaking of...
Just kidding.
Did you listen to the afternoon show yesterday?
I listened to parts of it. It's one of my favorite things to do in the afternoon.
Why? What happened?
We were approaching 5 o'clock, let's call it 4:40 or so, and I found it very interesting that Craig whooped out a top 5 list out of nowhere.
I did hear that, yes.
What? I'm sitting there, and I have the show on in the background, and I go, excuse me.
He did an ode to a Cinco.
He basically did a Cinco at 4:40 yesterday.
Yeah, I did know.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and everybody knows I invented making lists.
Was there... like production behind it?
Well, that was where Hoff came into play. Hoff suddenly is whooping out numbers. He's counting it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Was
wasn't a top 6 list.
Was it our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
It wasn't.
It was close, though.
It was close.
I thought it was the
same. It was
same.
like a Hydrox cookie to an Oreo cookie version.
That was clearly an ode to you, Sean.
Okay.
You should feel flattered.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of Craig and speaking of Sean, I tweeted it out about an hour ago. If you go to @EvanRoberts WFAN, it is the picture that Craig put out a few years ago of Sean Morash looking like a Cabbage Patch Kid. Okay, I'm going to show you the picture so you can describe it. Tell me, Tiki, Sean doesn't look like a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Yes, he does.
It has pre-beard, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
without the beard, it does.
There's a reason I started growing the gray beard.
It is a young Sean Morash with no beard, with the very bald head.
That is pure Cabbage Patch.
And it's
yes.
a Cabbage Patch Kid wearing his Yankee shirt, and they look exactly the same. So you could check it out on my Twitter feed. It's a Craig tweet from a few years ago, from almost the anniversary, January 6th, 2023.
Wow.
Almost to the day. Let's go to Pete in Babylon. Hey, Pete.
You guys better leave Sean alone. He's doing double duties back there.
No, he is, but that's his job from now on.
Listen, Evan, Sean, Tiki, you know I love you guys, and you can't hide from us, man. I'll follow you to the moon.
Appreciate you.
Listen, let's start off by saying let's get that tub of goo out of our giant offices right now. I've been screaming about Jesse Minter for a month. The reason I've been screaming about Jesse Minter is because he's a Harbaugh protege. So I got 2 giant points. Let me get them both across.
Yeah.
Harbaugh protege. Now we have an opportunity to go and get the protege, not in Jesse Minter, but the 2 guys, Harbaugh, who have taught this kid who I've been screaming about. Hire Harbaugh. We got to fire Shane. Let me push back on you a little bit, Tiki. Give me 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
I just got it. Shane had, listen, I'm just going to throw names at you. Evan Neal, Tay Banks, Dalen Hyatt. Thibodeau was not a 5 pick. He let Xavier McKinney go. He let Julian Love go. He's got, if you hire Harbaugh, he's got to go. And lastly, let's please, guys, please help me with this one. Let's draft Spencer Fano with the 5 pick and bookend our tackles and be done with our offensive line. I love you guys always.
Appreciate you, Pete. I'm still high on M'Bow, though. I mean, not M'Bow, Bow. Marcus Bow.
M'Bow.
M'Bow is your guy.
MBOW.
Right.
Which I love.
I'm still high on Bow. I think he has a chance to be a really good player in this league. Now, could he move the guard? Sure. But I don't see that. I think he's a tackle.
Anthony's in Brooklyn. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, guys. Second time, long time. I have a submission for Idiots for Idiots.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nice.
All right. If you want to rewind to about 12:30 on the free Odyssey app, I'm pretty sure you can do that on YouTube, too. Evan said he's a front runner for Seton Hall. I think he meant bandwagoner, buddy.
I don't know. Is that incorrect?
I think front runner works.
Yeah.
No, front runner.
Because a front runner means you jump in rooting for a team that's winning.
Yeah, I mean, I always root for them. I just don't watch them.
I'm a front runner.
I'm trying to think how people use front runner.
So if you walked around in the 90s in New York and you saw somebody with a cowboy hat, you'd be like, you're a front runner.
Well, but that isn't the way I used it for myself. I am a fan of the Islanders. I'm a fan of Seton Hall. I just don't watch every game the way I do with my other teams.
Yeah.
And once they're in the playoffs or the NCAA tournament, I'm locked in.
So I think he's wrong then.
Yeah.
Because bandwagoner is, I'm not paying attention. I'm not a fan of that team. Oh, they're good? Oh, let me jump on the bandwagon.
Right, like Evan jumped on the Texans bandwagon.
Yes. But that's only to serve my interests of beating the Patriots.
But you only talk about Seton Hall when they're in the front. Yeah. So you're a front runner.
Absolutely.
No, you said it right.
Absolutely. I think
that was
I
a
did
good
use
try.
that right.
I'm glad he made us think about that one.
No, it was a very, very...
I completely missed it.
Very good try. More of your calls coming up, 888-808-1019. Plus, Mike McCarthy is in the building. Where we stand on him as a potential Giant hire and the greatest post-game press conference you'll ever hear. It's Evan and Tiki for another hour till the Carton Show with Big Mac and Craig.
Those of us living in New Jersey got hit with a 20% electric rate increase. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, it's time for a new high-efficiency Carrier system. There's only one company to call for a new one. My friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older systems waste gas, so get yours checked now and save money with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them at edisonhvac.com. That's edisonhvac.com.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
The two most powerful people in college football, SEC and Big Ten commissioners Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti, have 10 days to figure out if they want to expand the CFP to 16 teams starting next year. But this isn't about acknowledging the parity that now exists at the highest levels of college football. It's about the Power 2 lining their pockets and stuffing the ball to their programs and figuring out how they can do it while guaranteeing as little inclusion for the little guys as possible. I'm Chris Mack.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation. Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Whether you want to take your next level of adventure in the Frontier Dark Armor, the Pathfinder, the Armada, or the Rogue, you'll be ready for what comes your way. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Nissan Rogue, 2025 Murano, or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example: 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 2/2/26.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Get breaking sports news here. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
If you've missed any of today's show, very simple. You can rewind it on the Odyssey app all the way back to 10 a.m. Tiki's got a belief, a premonition, if you will, that Mike Tomlin's going to dump the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not the other way around, even though Steeler fans are ready to dump Mike Tomlin. And that means we'll spend the next 5 years as Jet fans calling up Sports Talk Radio talking about how Mike Tomlin should be our next head coach.
We need Tomlin. Can't we just go get Mike Tomlin? Mike Tomlin's been retired for 3 years now. He's got to be wanting to come back now. We need him.
Yes, we've had a few of those topics around here at WFAN. For many years, it was the Mets need to hire Wally Backman as their manager. For many years, it was the Giants or Jets need to hire Bill Cowher as their head coach. Mm-hmm. And pretty soon, if your premonition is right, it'll be the same with Mike Tomlin. Now, speaking of another Mike, today Mike McCarthy is meeting with the New York Giants, and you have put on record that you wouldn't hire Mike McCarthy. And I respect that.
I don't dislike Mike McCarthy, but given the other options, I'd opt for somebody else.
Okay. You're in the room today, and I have said before I think the Giants should have you in the room, though the schedule would have to be altered because the show comes first. But nevertheless, if you're in the room with Mike McCarthy, and look, you don't want to hire him, but you're also open-minded.
Of course.
You're having an interview with him. You're not just going to say,
right, just blow me away type of thing.
What are the questions you need to have answered from Mike McCarthy that maybe could change your view on hiring him?
I think the first thing is always, who is your staff? Who are you bringing with you? Right? Who are you helping? Who are you bringing to help Jackson Dart reach his fullest potential? Because that's number one. Defensively is how are you keeping pace with what the Kyle Shanahan's, Mike McVay's offenses are doing in this game? How are you going to keep pace with that? So basically, what's your defensive coordinator and what's his game plan? And then I think most importantly for this team in particular, meaning our Giants, is there's been a lack of accountability that feels like it pervades the field. Right? It's one thing when it's Abdul Carter missing a meeting, but when it's like on field game day, Deonte Banks not hustling to push Jalen Hurts out of bounds, or like looking lost in whatever the call is. That game day accountability is the most important thing, and I don't think the Giants have had enough of it. So how are you going to instill that and enforce it, most importantly?
Sean, as the host of multiple Giants podcasts, my sources tell me the third most popular and the 15th most popular Giant podcast in the space.
Close.
Am I sort of accurate with that?
Yeah, it's first and 11th, but that's fine.
First and 11th?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
You got one number 1 and a number 11.
Yeah.
How many are there?
12.
You're 11 out of 12?
There are 12 Giant
By the way, I just made up the number 12, but there's a lot.
No, I know there's a lot, but I didn't think there were 12. Wow.
I think there's more.
Yeah, I think there's more. Yeah. I'd go with like 26.
Yeah.
How would the Giant fan mostly react to the hiring of Mike McCarthy as their head coach?
Anything other than Harbaugh at this point is going to feel like a massive disappointment, but you will quickly get the people that rally and go, he's established, he wins 12 games. I think within 24 hours, the fan base won't be as nearly upset as they would be with some of these coordinators.
Your reaction to Mike Harbaugh, I combine them. Your reaction to Mike McCarthy would be what?
I would not be happy. I would not be happy. I would talk myself into it. I'd be a sucker.
Yeah. You'd be the, okay, I'll like this in a week.
It's going to feel massively disappointing, and I'm going to look like the biggest fraud with like lipstick clown stuff on me, like within 5 days going, well, look at how many games he won. Right. Everything that I have discounted and fought with Tommy about, I'm going to have to like bend the knee and talk myself into. So I'm prepared to be a hypocrite when they hire Mike McCarthy.
I'd be very surprised if they hire him. I would be. And I think Mike's a hell of a head coach. I do not think he'd be a bad hire. I'd probably be more positive than both of you upon hiring him. But just reading the tea leaves of the moment that the Giants are in, they are going for John Harbaugh.
They are.
And I think they're going to get him. And
as they should.
As they should, absolutely. If they miss out on him, I still don't think it'd be Mike McCarthy.
Now, the good news, my fear of how they end up with McCarthy is they wait on Harbaugh. Stefanski says, to hell with this, I got an offer.
And he's their third choice.
He's their third choice. But the good news is Harbaugh feels like he's this big a candidate with everybody that I don't think Stefanski's getting hired before Harbaugh makes a call.
I would almost equate the John Harbaugh free agency to the Juan Soto free agency, where I think everyone's going to wait on Juan Soto, or in this case, John Harbaugh.
Right.
Now, if John informs teams today, hey, I'm not interviewing with you, then, of course, those teams will move on. But I think as long as a team thinks they have a chance at him or they're interviewing him or they're a part of the process, they're not going to quickly move on somebody else. He is clearly the belle of the ball, and I think he's the number one target of every sane team, besides the Ravens, obviously, that are looking to fill out their head coaching job.
And the good news is, unlike that pig Aaron Rodgers, when everybody waits on him to make a quarterback, remember that last year? When he's going to make him, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think Harbaugh's going to sit there and go, you know what, I'll decide in February. Like, he is going to also acquiesce here.
Well, it's impossible for him to wait because after you get hired as head coach, it's a daunting job to go put your staff together, move your family or move yourself, get your stuff in order. Because he's been in Baltimore, Maryland area for 2 decades.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got to uproot and go someplace else, whether that's across the country or just north of us. And if it's here, that takes some time, man. So the quicker you do that, the easier it is to get back or get into a normal existence in your new abode. So I think waiting only hurts you.
I agree. I think he's going to decide soon. I think this is going to be a massive week in New York sports. I think we're going to get an answer on Kyle Tucker, probably to the Dodgers, and we're going to get an answer on John Harbaugh. One last thing about John Harbaugh, and we'll get to your phone calls, 888-808-1019. As I mentioned, you kind of believe that Mike Tomlin will walk away from the Steelers. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, do you think John Harbaugh and vice versa would consider each other, or is that just too weird?
That feels weird. I can't see that happening. It'd be awesome, but I can't see that happening.
It's a tough spot for Harbaugh from this perspective. Him and Tomlin were clearly, whether they were frenemies, coach rivals, anything. Harbaugh's not a stupid man. If he views the Pittsburgh Steelers and goes, what can I do better with this team that Tomlin already wasn't doing, he's stuck without a quarterback. And I think inevitably you go there, he's having the same seasons Tomlin's having. And what does that look like then in the end?
No, I agree with you. I also think that I don't know if John's a bitter man. Like, if he's bitter, if he's one of those guys who creates enemies lists when he feels he's been discarded, then he could go there out of bitterness. He could go out there to say, you know what? You unceremoniously dumped me. I'm going to stick it to you. Same thing would be going to Cleveland, by the way. I think it is kind of similar. It's a division rival. I don't get the vibe that John Harbaugh is an enemy list kind of guy. Like, I think if he ended up going to Cleveland, it would be because of the connection that his family and he has to the city, more than it would be, boy, I want to stick it to Piscotty. I'm pissed off that he got rid of me. So I think that would be the only thing that would take him to Pittsburgh, and I just don't get the vibe that Harbaugh is a enemy list kind of guy. But worth keeping in mind, because it is certainly possible we may get a 9th head coaching vacancy. 888-808-1019. Dominic in New Rochelle. Good afternoon, Dominic.
Hey, Dom.
What's up, fellas?
All's good.
Tiki, what worries me about Joe Shane is it's not so much on his drafting.
Yeah.
He has actually had decent drafts. It's besides a couple of bad first-round picks, it's his off-season moves that weren't good. He has less foundational locker room winning players that are also really good players, and Julian Love and McKinney walk out the door.
Yeah.
He's also traded Leonard Williams. It's his off-season decisions that would worry me if Harbaugh doesn't come here. He's used to the opposite of Baltimore. The GM over those years kept those guys.
Yep.
So I wonder if that could play a major role in him coming here and working with Shane or not. I hope it doesn't.
I mean,
and Sean, I agree with you. McCarthy would be definitely a big disappointment.
Yeah, it's like lukewarm. It's not like ice cold. It's a lukewarm hire. But if you sit there long enough, it starts to feel like it's hot, even though it's not.
Well, I think John Harbaugh is the guy. And if you don't end up with him, I said this the other day, fair or not, it's going to feel like a massive disappointment. It's just the way it is. I mean,
there's not any definitive link. Like, we haven't heard anything from, let's call it John Harbaugh's camp, because he doesn't have one. But from the insider saying John Harbaugh really likes New York. He loves the situation. That's where he wants to be. So we haven't heard that anywhere from either, against pro or against the New York Giants.
Every link around John Harbaugh has actually been positive to every team.
Exactly.
He likes this, he likes that, he's happy.
Right.
Basically,
it depends on what town you live in.
Yeah.
You think John Harbaugh loves your team.
which sounds like an agent just keeping him involved in every potential
Well, by the
negotiation.
way, which you should.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy. Like, we said it yesterday. He is Juan Soto of the NFL coaching offseason.
He is. He's the guy everybody wants.
Nothing is happening until he signs wherever he signs or gets hired wherever he's hired.
We assume, like in Soto's case, it was about payrolls. Like, well, the Pirates aren't interested because they can't afford them or they're not willing to spend that kind of money. Obviously, that's not the case in football. I think the case is we just assume, well, he wouldn't be interested in that team.
Yeah.
That's how we dismiss teams. Like, he wouldn't go there.
Right.
It's not about the money necessarily. Chris in Bayshore. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Good. What's up, dude?
Listen, I've been talking to you a couple times about the Harbaugh thing. He would be my first choice also, but I needed to get your feeling on one thing that kind of bugs me about him. You bring him into a situation with Dart. He's had Lamar there, the MVP, and offensively, it's never really seemed to work to its fullest. Does that concern you at all with bringing him in this situation?
Well, not really, because I think he's not an offensive coach. So he can give ideas on what he wants the offense to look like, but he's not scheming and developing, put that in quotes, your young quarterback, in this case, Lamar Jackson. I think his job is to hire the best offensive coordinator for his specific quarterback that he can. That's why Greg Roman was brought in. And obviously we know him historically from his time with San Francisco and Colin Kaepernick. So he comes to and helps Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson actually starts to really thrive. But it's like he hit a ceiling. You know what I mean? And then so they needed to adjust. So they bring in Todd Monken, who has mostly been had most of his success in college, in particular at University of Georgia, where he won back-to-back championships. And he helped redevelop this passing downfield acumen that Lamar Jackson's always had, just never got refined. And so I think what you trust in John Harbaugh is it'll put the right staff together for his team, not just because I like this guy and I want to give him a shot. It's I know what this guy does for this specific type of player. And you have to trust that he'll do that if he gets hired by the Giants for Jackson Dart.
Sam is in Hackensack. What's going on, Sam?
Hi, guys. Great show.
Appreciate it.
Here's my question. More and more teams, specifically I heard Seattle this morning, are putting subtle threats on their season ticket holders to not put tickets on the open market for whatever reason. Now, I know you've got season tickets to the Knicks. I think that's terrible. You own the tickets. You should be able to do whatever you want with those tickets, especially considering the price now. How do you feel about that?
I think it sucks. I mean, I get why they're doing it. The Seahawks are putting restrictions or threatening their season ticket holders because they don't want Niner fans to buy those tickets and fill up their building. And look, I don't know the Seattle's ticket situation over the last decade, and I wouldn't even use the Knicks as an example, but I'd use the Mets as an example.
Right.
I've been a Mets season ticket holder since I took it over from my dad in 2009. And I will tell you this, more times than not, I'd say 90% of the time, being a season ticket holder to a baseball team is a losing proposition. You go to the games, and then there are plenty of games you can't go to.
Right.
You try to sell it, and you never do well. It is not a business. So if there's a rare opportunity to make a few dollars off a playoff game, which I wouldn't want to do because I'd want to go to the playoffs, but I get it if you choose to make your money back.
What happens if you can't?
What if you can't?
Right.
I had that
You got a cheer competition.
I had a 2 year.
I do all the time.
Or I had a radio show 2 years ago.
Right.
It was a Met-Dodger playoff game, and we were on the air.
Right.
And I wasn't skipping work. I only do that for opening day occasionally. And so I sold it. And great, I made some money. I never make money off the Mets. So I feel bad for that person who's been a season ticket holder for a long time. They're not doing it to make money. They're doing it to go to games, but they can't naturally go to every game, and they just try to sell it to get their money back. And now you're telling them when they actually can make money, too bad.
Right.
Are you helping them out when they can't give their tickets away? Like the Jets are even a better example. I'm a Jets season ticket holder. I could not give my tickets away to the games I couldn't go to. I'm not trying to be selfish. I can't go to the game. No one will buy them. So you're telling me if the Jets are in the AFC title game next year, and I say, you know what, screw it. I have lost so much money off this freaking football team, I'd like to make a few bucks back, that the Jets all of a sudden are going to swoop in and say, no, you're not allowed to do that after you watched me just lose cash for the last decade? That doesn't seem fair.
No, you're right. And it's the teams want control because it's interesting because I wonder in the regular season if it's to control the downside. Because sometimes these tickets are going for like $5, $8. In the playoffs, it's going 5 times face value, and they're not getting any of that margin. They lose it all. Right? It's all lost to them. It's only to the fan. And so they don't want to be the non-interested third party, even though it's their ticket.
But more times than not, they're benefiting from the season ticket holder spending more money for the tickets than the secondary market's willing to pay.
True.
Now you got the rare occasion where it's a hot ticket. You're saying, no.
I know. But they want all upside. They want all the upside, none of the downside.
One thing I realize is that teams have every right. Like, you sign these deals. Like, I know with all the season tickets I have, they have every right to take tickets away from me or take tickets away from you. So I understand that it's not like I've got all these rights. But if you ask me, do I think it's fair or not? No, I don't think it's fair. I think you should be able to do what you want with your tickets.
I agree.
Especially when you take a beating for such a long period of time. I think Jet and Giant fans, that's probably, I'll keep it to football. You guys understand. If you're a Giant season ticket holder or a Jet season ticket holder, you go to the games, you still have a good time with your family. What about the games you can't go to? You can't give them away right now. Now all of a sudden the Giants or Jets turn it around and the team swoops in and says, nope, can't do secondary market.
Right.
Meanwhile, it's like, I've been taking a bath for the last 10 years. I can't have one good day?
No, if you're a season ticket holder, part of the agreement is I don't want to feel pressure that I must use my own tickets or just hand them off to somebody I know. Like, why would you purchase that? It's completely asinine.
I agree.
Now, unless you're playing the Eagles, in which case, hold them.
Let's go to Brian in Jackson. Hey, Brian.
Hey, guys. I just want to say, as a Jets fan, and I'm looking at this pool of the head coaches out there, and we're holding on to our stiff Aaron Glenn, who I would be okay keeping him, in a vacuum. But with the opportunity out there to get a coach, I know the chances are very low on being able to land a Kevin Stefanski, a Jim Harbaugh. But isn't it worth at least taking the gamble? He's not good enough to prevent us from taking a gamble. Let's take the gamble. Let's offer him 50% equity in the team, or I don't know, something crazy, blow him out of the water, make him the highest paid head coach in history, and let's get Harbaugh, Stefanski, McCarthy, someone.
I understand wanting to take that risk, but let me walk you down reality. They're going to say no. And now we're left holding the bag. So I'm going to morash this for you. And that's a new verb around here. It means I'm going to spin something for you. I'm going to spin a yarn. And tell me if this passes the morash test. I don't believe in Aaron Glenn. And if I had to guess right now, he's probably gone at the end of next year. But there are going to be 9 new head coaches potentially in 2026. 9.
Yeah.
Including the Steelers.
Yes. But it's also a fortunate year, as we had from a caller. The names of the coaches that are available this year.
Very good.
It's awesome.
I totally get it. Jets aren't getting those guys, even if they were the 10th team. But if 9 of those vacancies are filled, to go along with the good head coaches who aren't going to get fired, it means that next year has a chance to be a historically low list of teams looking for head coaches, which puts the Jets in a better spot to get a good head coach when there's only 2 or 3 teams looking for a head coach.
Right. If Clint Kubiak doesn't get a shot this year, or Chris Shula doesn't get a shot this year, or whoever, Jeff Hafley or Jesse Minter, if they don't get their shots this year, they'll get their shots next year.
So think about this. Not only will the Jets be one of very few vacancies, let's say they take Dante Moore and they barely play him. There'll be a value in, and they've got the young quarterback, they got the draft picks. I think the Jets have a chance to next year, based on very few other teams having openings, and what they do in this draft, setting themselves up to having a very appealing job next year. Will I be more competitive to get a really good head coach? Does that pass the morash test?
It does, but there's like a minor error with it.
Go ahead.
Or are you insinuating there's only going to be like 3 openings next year?
Well, I'm saying I don't know.
They're not going to be 7 to 9.
It's not going to be as many as there are now, just based on the odds of the amount of vacancies. They're not going to go one and done.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I kind of think once you get to, like, as long as there's like 6 openings, I think you're still having the argument, where do the Jets sit in there? You know what I mean?
But 6 is better than 9.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But are there going to be 6?
I don't think there'll be 6.
Remember, we counted this the other day. There's a lot on the line.
All right, here we go. Long-term prediction. January 13th, 1:20 p.m. How many NFL head coaching vacancies will happen for the 26 into 27 season? I'm sorry, did I phrase that wrong?
No, you're right. You said it right.
For the 27 season.
Yeah, from the 26 into the 27 season.
Yeah, how many vacancies will there be?
Let's count them. I could see Cincinnati, Indy,
I think either the Packers or Eagles open next year.
I don't. Packers or Eagles. So let's throw either one.
Just
of
as
those.
a surprise team.
Either one of those in there.
Jets.
I already have them.
Just give me a number.
Tampa. I'm going to say, no, I'm going to do it rationally, dude.
Okay.
I'm not just going to throw a random number out of there.
That's what I'm doing.
Could be 6 or 7.
6, 7.
I'm going to say 4.
That's exactly my number.
Yeah.
There will be 4 head coaching vacancies in January of 2027. Sean, how many?
5 if Sean McVay decides to leave.
It's always a possibility, or Andy Reid decides to retire.
Yeah.
You have those wild cards, and I fully admit that.
Right.
But I'm going to go with it being a much smaller number. Right now, there's 8 with the potential of 9 with Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with 4 coaching vacancies a year from now in January of 2027.
6.
Okay. Or 7.
Yeah. Long-term bet. Next year, the Jets hire Mike McDaniel.
That's a good long-term bet.
No, he's already going to be the coach of the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, that's right. You already picked him.
That's true. If he gets an OC job and does a really good job, I could see it. And I would be more open to that than the Gase hire, because what bothered me about the Gase hire, A, I didn't think he was a good head coach.
Yeah.
But B, it was instant. I didn't like the instanceness of going from failed.
You'll get there, Ev.
McDaniel taking a step back for a year and being an OC somewhere, okay. I can buy that.
Right. Hey, what is that word? Instant.
I'm not even going to attempt to do it.
It's not a word. Instantness is not a word.
Yeah, I made up a word.
Instant gratification.
No, because he's not gratified.
There was no gratification with Adam Gase. It was just instanceness. That's the word. We'll get back to your calls in a minute. Plus, I want to play for Tiki Barber and everybody in the audience one of the great ways to handle a post-game press conference when you're really, really pissed off. One of the great post-game press conferences you'll ever hear. It happened last night in sports, and we have it for you coming up here on Evan and Tiki.
I'm always busy.
With Sean Morash.
Always on the go. Even with Sean disrupting my life by being Sean.
Sorry, Tiki.
That's all good. But you know what I value most? Is safety for me and especially my family when I'm not with them. That's why I turned to Sloman's, our partner, who recently installed the Sloman Shield Link system into my home. And it is unbelievable how convenient and amazing it is. It combines safety, that convenience that I mentioned, and most importantly, peace of mind that I can manage right from my phone. There's so many things that I love about this, but I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, we left our house. We were traveling for the night, and we forgot to turn our security lighting on outside. So all I had to do was pop on my phone and flip on my security lights. I could even turn on the lights inside my house when we're not there. The Sloman Shield Link system controls everything from the cameras, my garage door, audio control, Apple Music, connected. It is fantastic and so convenient for me and my family. You can experience the future of home security and automation as well with the Sloman Shield Link system. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME or visit slomans.com.
This portion of the program was sponsored by Kalshi. Trade on anything. Make money trading on sports, politics, culture, and more. Legally nationwide with Kalshi. From sports to Bitcoin and even the Oscars, if it matters, you can trade on it. Trade the game, player props, and more.
I'm Pat Boyle here to help you beat the books with West Virginia Sports. Lakers are in the Big Easy to play the Pelicans, who got on a little bit of a roll last month and won 5 in a row, only to swoon again and have lost 7 straight, and they've lost 3 in a row by at least 15 points. I know the Lake Show are still missing Rui and Reeves, but I trust Luka and LeBron to take care of business. LA's heading on the road after spending the entire holiday week at home. I trust their effort against the lowly Pels. I'm Pat Boyle. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply by February 11th and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
At Nielsen, fun is in the driver's seat.
Your best
year starts with a savings. Don't miss the January Jumpstart event at Nielsen Dodge.
That's right, Chels. We're ready to start your new year with low lease payments to get you driving.
Lease a new 2026 Dodge Durango GT Plus all-wheel drive Hemi V8, just $299 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4, just $359 a month. Or choose from hundreds of quality certified pre-owned vehicles.
With 0 down payment and the credit help you deserve.
Come see all the great savings we've lined up so you can start your new year driving happy and hassle-free. Let the fun begin.
On Route 10 in East Hanover. Online at nielsendodge.com. A proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
At Nielsen Dodge.
Sun is in the driver's seat.
Start something new sales event. With approval term Durango 36, Ram 42 months due at sign, Durango 55.99, Ram 59.54 at tax tag 498 dock and DMV fees.
Chris Stapleton's All-American Road Show.
If you want to
August 26th at Northwell at Jones Beach Theater with special guest Carter Faith. Chris Stapleton's All-American Concert Series.
Looking for Continental winter tires? Then head to Town Fair Tire, New England's largest volume discount tire dealer. We've got Continental tires in every size for every vehicle, in stock with more arriving daily, all at the guaranteed lowest price. And when you add the most free services for life, it's easy to see how nobody beats Town Fair Tire for your new Continental winter tires. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
So I always dreamed of having a man cave. But the wife doesn't like it. What if I called it a woman cave?
Okay, so let's not do that, but add some relaxing lighting and a comfy IKEA Hofburg ottoman, and now it's a cozy retreat.
Nice, a cozy retreat. Man cozy retreat.
Sir, okay. Find your big dreams, small dreams, and cozy retreat dreams in-store or online at IKEA.us. Dream the possibilities.
Orgavada Zona? Is that a word? In the 2026 Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid, it might as well be, because it can be one road trip. It's all about turbocharged power and hybrid efficiency working together, so you get the thrill of quick acceleration and the satisfaction of fuel efficiency. Book a test drive and keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
At Citizens, we help make sense of your money and all your money questions.
Do I keep renting or finally buy?
Do I plan for a vacation or plan for a renovation?
How big of a nest should my nest egg be?
If money talks, what's it say to me?
Is cash still king?
Wait, when did a dollar slice go up to $3?
Whatever money questions you have, Citizens has the answers. Make sense of your money at citizensbank.com/made ready. Member FDIC.
Make the smart choice, the Mazda CX-5. With standard all-wheel drive, advanced safety, and effortless handling. There's more to a Mazda than meets the eye. Lease your 2025 Mazda CX-5 for only $209 a month and elevate your journey wherever the road takes you. Visit your local Mazda dealer or MazdaUSA.com.
Listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Costa Sunday morning at 8 right here on The Fan. Nick will preview all the football action and get you ready for kickoff, presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're sitting in traffic, you need to do something. Might as well call The Fan. Let's chat about it now. Call the WFAN Sports Fan Helpline at 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Paramount Plus to stream every NFL on CBS playoff game.
That is new. I wish I didn't.
If you're looking to level up your wardrobe, check out Collars & Co. You might have seen them on Shark Tank, where they landed a deal with Mark Cuban. They're the team behind the dress collar polo that sold over 1 million shirts. Now they've launched the Maverick Performance Blazer. This thing is legit. Sharp, lightweight, and completely wrinkle-resistant, which is perfect for travel. Just pack it up. It comes out looking fresh. Plus, get smart features like security zip pockets, a sunglasses loop, and an optional pocket square. So hit up my boys at collarsandco.com. Use code Tiki for 20% off. That's at collarsandco.com.
I want to play for you something utterly brilliant. So last night, while you weren't paying attention, the Boston Celtics lost to the Indiana Pacers on a game-winning shot by Pascal Siakam with about 8 seconds to go. And it was controversial because it looked like an illegal screen was set that freed Siakam up. Okay? After the game, Joe Mazzulla was having his press conference.
Oh, Joe.
And Joe Mazzulla was not happy about the non-call of the illegal screen. So I play to you. It's like a minute, and I think it's his entire press conference. Here is Joe Mazzulla's press conference after that loss in which the illegal screen really bothered him.
Take us through the last couple of sessions.
Illegal screen.
What'd you say?
Illegal screen.
Illegal screen.
Illegal screen.
What fell apart to get you guys behind, and then how were you able to get by?
Illegal screen.
What do you mean by that? What do you want people to know?
Illegal screen.
Would you like to say anything else?
Illegal screen.
Wow. That was brilliant. And I would advise any coach who's pissed off about like a pass interference call. Can you imagine Aaron Glenn? Actually, this is perfect for Aaron Glenn.
You can't even get fined because you're not talking about a specific play. You're just saying something that is like nondescript.
Yeah, you're just. I think Joe Mazzulla's fine proof in terms of that press conference. So it would be Aaron Glenn after a game in which he's pissed off about, a pass interference. Just pass interference. Hey, Coach, what'd you think of the quarterback's play? Pass interference. Hey, Coach, what'd you think of that? Pass interference. So I got to give Joe Mazzulla a lot of credit. I thought that was one of the more brilliant answers and handling of being upset about a non-call that you'll ever hear. And coaches, managers, steal it from them.
But you have to have had some success and earn the right to not answer any other questions.
So you're saying Aaron Glenn could not do that?
He could absolutely not do this.
How would that have gone over after a decade?
Joe Mazzulla has won a championship.
He not only has won a championship, I think what makes it perfect is his calmness. Like, Joe Mazzulla doesn't raise his voice.
No.
He's just a very calming influence. And so having him calmly repeat in his monotone voice.
Illegal screen.
Over and over again.
Illegal screen.
I mean, it's brilliant stuff. So good job by Joe Mazzulla. You won the press conferences last night.
This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ. Precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. A quiet professional night for us here in New York, but it's the Islanders who own the local schedule. They've won 3 of their last 4 points in 4 straight, and they'll head to Winnipeg to play the Jets that don't have a playoff drought tonight for an 8 p.m. puck drop. The Isles are just 5 points back of Carolina for first place in the Metro and the Eastern Conference.
I don't know if you do this, Sean. I don't know if you do this, Tiki, but I have used these new hours to take advantage advantage of time with my family and my wife. And one of the things me and my wife used to do, especially when I was doing these hours many years ago, is we pick a show and we watch it. So like last night, even before the Nets tipped off and the football game started, we had a few hours, kids are calm, to watch a show. So the show we're binging right now is a show I've seen before. It's a comedy. I love the 25-minute comedy because I think it distracts us from the real world problems. Like, I don't want to go get depressed. My wife doesn't want to get depressed. So, like, Homeland years ago was always tough to watch because you'd walk away being like, oh, my God, terrorists are taking over. I hate this world. So the show that we are locked in on, and it's fitting because they're bringing this show back in a few months, which I don't think is a great idea, but they try that. We are binging Scrubs.
Scrubs.
Oh, it's a good call.
Did you ever watch Scrubs?
I never got into Scrubs. I mean, I was an ER guy.
ER guy?
Back in the day.
You were a Clooney guy?
I'm older than you guys.
Yeah,
so I was an ER guy.
ER was the boring show after the Thursday night lineup on NBC of goodness of Seinfeld and Friends.
But it was intense. And so it felt like real drama. Scrubs it's comedy. So it felt like a comedic, I don't know, attempt at what they did in ER. So I never got into it.
Here's what you're wrong
about. Because I loved ER.
It's not ER. I'm not saying it's the same, but Scrubs is very heavy. Like, it's a comedy and it'll make you laugh, but there are plenty of episodes in which, like the last episode I watched, and I'm still in season 1, even though I've seen it before, so it's not like I've watched it.
And your wife likes it?
She loves it because she had never seen it. So I was trying to find the show that she hadn't seen, and I was good with rewatching it. But on episode like 5 of season 1, 3 patients die. I mean, it's sad.
Wow.
And one of them's really young. So, like, it is a heavy show, but they mix in some really smart comedy. The problem with Scrubs, and I'm going to warn my wife about this, is as the series goes on, they make the main characters stupider. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
And they do that with a lot of shows.
That's disappointing.
They make them dumber.
What did I say?
Stupider.
I did that on purpose.
Did you?
Yeah.
He's stupider by saying stupider instead of dumber.
Yeah, that's called
You can't be trusted with your lingo, you know?
You don't think that makes sense? Like I'm being ironic.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
We are watching Outlander.
I've heard that's good.
What is that about?
On Netflix. It's about this woman. I forget her name. She's a pretty woman. And she's in a bad marriage. And she goes to this magic rock. You have to get over this part for a second because it's stupid. And then travels back in time to like colonial time.
That part sounds awesome. I don't know what you're talking about.
She travels back in time and then she spends basically her life in this colonial time.
Really?
And they think she's a witch because she's a doctor or healer. And so it's pretty cool. But I think it's like 5 seasons or 4 seasons or something like that. We watched it before, but I've completely forgotten it. Other than one thing that I was reminded of last night. It is basically softcore porn.
Tell me more.
You've intrigued us.
The sex scenes
are
long.
Yeah.
Not like 30 seconds. Like 6 minutes.
Wow.
of that.
Full nakedness?
Full nakedness. And last I woke up, but we watch it was off, and then I hear the sound, like the moanings, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Hold mine!
But it's a good show too. So there's a good story behind it.
Yeah,
and it's intense, and it's about like a Scottish Revolution against the Imperial British. And so it's actually a fun show
with a lot of
but it's
softcore pornography.
It is. I mean, it takes some time to get to that point, but once it gets there, it's like Jesus.
Take me to Pleasure Town.
I'm gonna write that one down.
Outlander.
And what is it on? You said Netflix?
Netflix. It just moved to Netflix.
That is the other thing that is so confusing. Like whether it's an original show on Netflix or Hulu or an old show like Scrubs, where to find things is such a pain in the ass.
It's hard.
Because I don't know.
Because I know and then I forget. And I'm like, where was it?
Yeah.
And so I end up having to search all of them.
Yeah,
or go to IMDb and it'll tell you, but that's a step that you just don't want to take.
I usually just scream to Alexa, hey, Alexa, where is blah, blah, blah? And then she's 55% of the time right. But sometimes she's very wrong. Let's get back to your calls. Jeff is calling from Greenwood Lake. What's going on, Jeff?
Hi, how you doing?
What's up?
Welcome to the morning hours.
Thank you.
Somewhat. Yesterday at about 5:15, CMAC was describing George Steinbrenner, and he was saying, I mean, you've heard the expression, somebody would be rolling in his grave. CMAC started out the expression by saying, if George Steinbrenner was alive, he would be rolling around in his grave.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a very good one. Thank you. I just wrote that down. I'll be taking care of that for Idiots with Idioms coming up on Friday at 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, we're including C-Mac. Last week we included Craig when he told James Dolan or asked him, what keeps you
sleep at night?
Or it was Rob Manfred. Was it Manfred or Dolan?
It was Manfred.
It was Manfred. What keeps you sleeping at night? Which is the exact opposite of the phrase.
The Chargers have fired Greg Roman, who has been the offensive coordinator for Jim Harbaugh every single season in the NFL, but also was the OC at one point for John Harbaugh. So people are connecting the dots. Will he rejoin with John now?
So that's
I hope not.
Who they're kind of blaming for the Chargers' failure,
Correct.
Offensive coordinator Greg Roman?
Correct.
That is very, very interesting, and I do think that connection is something to keep in mind. But why do you say you hope now? You don't think Greg Roman would be a good OC for Jackson Dart?
Didn't you hear, 20 minutes ago, what I said about Lamar Jackson?
I do remember that.
John Harbaugh moved on from him, and he hired Todd Monken.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how forward-thinking he is as far as offensive design, schematics, and things of that nature. So.
I'll tell you what he was doing over the weekend. He was treating Justin Herbert like a pinball machine.
Right.
So
yeah, he was trying to Lamar Jackson.
He really was.
And it's like, dude, that's not this kid's game.
Yeah.
Did you see the one slide? I think it was a design run. It might have been a scramble. I can't remember. But it was a scramble where Justin Herbert was running. He picked up about 7 or 8 yards, and then he tried to slide because he's just awkward. He's so tall, he's awkward. He slid, and he did this, massive split.
Yeah.
Like, his legs, literally split like he was a cheerleader.
Very strange,
And it was like, dude, you rip your groin doing that.
No doubt.
So don't put him in positions where he has to think about taking a slide like that.
Well, there are a lot of good OCs available. We talk about Brian Daboll, and that was your prediction for 2026, that he'll end up on a staff that ends up in the Super Bowl. Brian Daboll.
Even though he just interviewed with the Titans.
He did for their head coaching job, but I do not see him getting a head coaching job. I'd be very surprised.
I would be as
well.
But
I think he's going to get an OC job in Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel and Brian Daboll are very similar in that they have to rehab their images. They're probably going to have to go back and be offensive coordinators.
Right. They had a modicum of success, but ultimately they feel like they failed at their first head coaching job.
Yes.
Right.
Well, failed at a head coaching job is such an interesting question because I heard our buddy Tommy Lugauer saying that about Kevin Stefanski, that he is a failed head coach. And I was wrestling it in my head.
2-time coach of the year.
Exactly.
Went to the playoffs. Now, only a couple times. Only won one playoff game, but whatever.
But that's what led me to this internal debate I had. And I appreciate Tommy putting the thought in my head. I'm not telling you Tommy's dead wrong. You clearly are. But I was thinking about it. What's a failed head coach? If the answer is, well, if a guy got fired, that's not good because Andy Reid got fired. He didn't fail in Philadelphia. Tom Coughlin got fired. He didn't fail with the Giants. John Harbaugh got fired. He didn't fail with Baltimore. So it's clearly not being fired. It's not succeeding enough. And then it comes to, well, what's succeeding enough?
Right.
Like Kevin Stefanski, to your point, won Coach of the Year twice. He took a franchise that is dog bleep and got to the postseason multiple times.
Right. Once in his first year, once in his fourth year.
Does that make you not a failed head coach? It's a great question because I don't know how to answer it. Is Brian Daboll a failed head coach? Well, I think the answer would be yes.
Right.
But he also won Coach of the Year and had one big playoff year. So what's the line between being a failed head coach and just the head coach that a team moved on
Right,
from?
because very rarely is it John Harbaugh-esque, or let's say if Mike Tomlin moves on, because he's not going to get fired, and he'll never be looked at as a failure, but it almost feels like getting moved on from after a pretty good season. That makes you not a failed head coach.
So you have to have a good season?
Yeah, I mean, think about it.
Well, is Doug Peterson a failed head coach?
It's a great question. How could you say he is?
In Jacksonville, yes.
Yes, in Jacksonville, yes. But
100%, because he was brought there for a specific reason, to rehab Trevor Lawrence, to get them back to some winning ways, and it didn't even get close.
But he wasn't a failed head coach in Philly.
Exactly right.
Okay. So is it championship?
Well, is Rex let's go local. Was Rex Ryan a failed head coach? Got the Jets to 2 AFC title games.
In New England, absolutely.
In Buffalo.
Buffalo, absolutely.
Yeah, but with the Jets.
No.
Okay.
No, I thought he brought a level of achievement that was over expectation.
Was Brian?
So maybe that's it. What's the expectation?
Yeah.
So if John Harbaugh comes to the New York Giants, gets them to the postseason 3 out of 7, 8 years, is that but doesn't win one. Is that a failed head coach?
It's a different bar for John Harbaugh.
Of course it is.
Very different.
I would say it's a failed head coaching job because he was good, but not great. Didn't win a Super Bowl.
I think there are certain
and the
guys.
expectation is John Harbaugh is going to help you build the organization, stabilize, but then win a Super Bowl.
I think certain guys are very easy. Robert Saleh was a failed head coach with the New York Jets. It's clear.
Right.
Pat Shurmur was a failed head coach. But I think when there are levels of success, which Daboll had, Stefanski had, Rex Ryan had, it's complicated.
Well, here's the big question. Here's the defining one. Ben McAdoo. He was only here for 2 seasons.
I know, made the playoffs.
One of which he went to the playoffs.
Right.
Won 11 games, right?
Yeah.
Went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
The next year he's fired.
Yeah.
Was he a failed head coach?
So my gut on Ben McAdoo.
Nobody had expectation for him.
It's got to be yes.
Only coach in Giants history to make the playoffs in every completed season he had.
But come on, but think about what you just said. He got fired in his second season. It was such a disaster, they wouldn't let him finish the year. He's a failed head coach. Sometimes it's just your first reaction without overthinking.
Yeah, that's true.
But I have to admit, Kevin Stefanski is very complicated. Because when Tommy said that, I was like, is he a failed head coach? I mean, over the last 2 years he is. I can't argue it. He just got fired. His win-loss record in the last 2 years is terrible. But how do I just eliminate the 2 successes he had in Cleveland?
And even though he's not the defensive coach, he did coach the DPOY who broke the sack record.
Correct. And I would also make the argument he's probably the one head coach that's overcome the most obstacles for success in the last 5 years.
Right. He, in at least according to reporting, wanted nothing to do with Deshaun Watson. They ladled him with Deshaun Watson.
So you guys would both agree he is not a failed head coach?
I don't consider him one, no.
Do you consider Brian Daboll a failed head coach?
I guess I have to based on the win-loss record.
Yeah.
Even though their resumes are not that far off.
It was just bad. It was 3 horrendous seasons in a row.
You know what, Evan? Let me dumb this down.
And 2 of them you forgive him because the talent wasn't there. Last season, you don't forgive him.
Brian Daboll won a Coach of the Year. A lot of people do. I think when you get to that second Coach of the Year, that's proof that first one wasn't a fluke. So it's kind of like, is Eli a Hall of Famer without Super Bowl 46? Probably not. The second one separates him. I think the second one separates Stefanski from what we think of with Brian Daboll.
I think that the marketplace is also telling us that the league doesn't view him as a failed head coach because he's getting not just an occasional job interview, he's getting a lot of job interviews.
Right, and he's de facto going to be somebody's offensive coordinator next year.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Well, and I'd go further and say I'd be surprised if he's not a head coach. Like, I'd be actually very surprised. Kevin Stefanski, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Which is why the marketplace is telling you he's not a failed head coach because he's immediately getting tons of interviews. Now, Adam Gase immediately got a job, but I think the Jets were the only ones that looked at him. I don't think any other team was like, ooh, Adam Gase. Let's go to Limo Driver Ed. What's up, Limo Driver Ed?
What's up, Ed?
Hey, guys. How y'all guys doing today?
We're good.
Good.
Hey, listen. Watch the kids again. Watch that kid from Miami. I think they're going to win it all. But keep an eye on him.
Carson Beck.
They have no shot. Indiana is going to chew them up, spit them out, and we're going to be asleep by halftime.
Okay, but they're playing in Miami, so be careful what you're saying.
I don't care if they're playing on Pluto.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But listen, I'm going to tell you right now, too, is Harbaugh is not going to the Giants. Because I tell you right now is, why would you want to play in that? Listen, I'm a Jets season ticket holder. Why would you want to play in that terrible stadium? Listen. And come on now. All right. And it's cold. He's going to go down to Las Vegas. Got the number 1 pick. His brother and family's close to him down there in San Diego.
I'd be stunned. I would be. I know earlier in the show.
Vegas would stun me.
Earlier in the show, I think it was you, Sean, or you, Tiki, who said, do you think that John would want to stay away from Jim?
I said it.
Okay, because Jim said, I hope he goes to another conference.
Yeah.
And I think that's ridiculous. Jim stayed in the conference.
It's not a thought out, we've talked about this statement. That was just, I don't want to coach against my brother.
Right. And by the way, I respect that.
Right.
The division is far different than the conference. I would be stunned if he stayed in division. I'd be stunned if he went to Vegas, of all places. I think their ownership situation is less than ideal. We really think that Bowl Haircut Davis is the guy you want to work for. Now, the stadium aspect. I would have this argument, and I'd be curious for those that have been to all the stadiums, like a legendary Ira in Staten Island, who's traveled with the Jets. I would argue that besides MetLife Stadium, the most boring no personality, does nothing for me stadium in the NFL is M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. It's the same thing.
I think actually the Titans Stadium is a little worse, but
Yeah.
But they're getting a new one.
M&T kind of looks cool
Does it?
in certain like settings. Like it's got to be dusk-esque. You know what I mean? In
The lights need to be off is what Tiki's saying.
yeah, lights off, and then they have all the Raven purple eye stuff coming out. That's cool.
That's exactly right.
Okay, that is not a defense of the stadium.
But as we learned,
It's not. But
MetLife Stadium looked cool the night Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. What does that mean?
I was just going to say the Jets in primetime made MetLife look cool.
Right.
Well, exactly. So
no, you're probably right, Evan. You might be onto something.
Because it is. You're right. It isn't. It's nondescript.
I've been there.
Feels like a college stadium.
Dude,
almost.
it's in a parking lot. It's next to Camden Yards. Yes, you've got the town, the city close by.
Inner Harbor.
But it's like, it's close by, but it's not. Like, you got to walk. Like, the Inner Harbor is closer to Oriole Park than it is M&T Bank. So you're in this, like, nothing area.
Oh, no, dude, we're missing. It's Washington is worse.
Oh, no, that's true. Because that's in a, you got to go through neighborhoods to get to that place.
I hailed an Uber at somebody's house.
Seriously. It's hard to get to whatever it's called. What's Highmark?
I think it's Merrick. No.
I forget what it is.
Northwest Stadium.
Northwest,
But the difference between Washington and Tennessee that you bring up is both of those teams are getting new stadiums. So they've identified it.
Yeah.
They're not getting a new M&T Bank Stadium.
No, that's true.
So I'm just saying, if your argument to me is going to be, why would John go to MetLife Stadium? M&T Bank is like the same thing. It really is. It's like got no personality.
Well, but here's the thing.
It's a dull stadium.
Why does he care about? All he cares about is his amenities, office, the locker room, right? Like, he doesn't care if there's crab fries in section 312 or if there's good bathroom access.
Maybe he's got a lot of family, wants to come.
That's
They
true.
hate it. The suite service stinks.
But does the suite service stink?
At MetLife? No, it's awesome.
So then there's no problem.
It is awesome at MetLife.
Yeah, I had a ceiling tile almost fall on me at Northwest Stadium Suites.
Right.
So
I think the people who have problems with MetLife Stadium are more me, Sean, and the fans that show up. I don't think like the highfalutin.
Right, the bougies like me.
Yeah.
I actually think we've gone too far at MetLife. Like, while I agree they're nice, we crush it too much. Like, inside of the stadium is not ugly. It's the outside.
No. The problem is that inside the stadium, not the suite areas or the dining areas, it's all concrete.
Yeah.
And so it gets cold, dude. So as soon as it's November, it's miserable to be outside, and then it's miserable to go into the circle.
I think
that's true.
You're missing the issue with MetLife Stadium. It is the fact that over the course of a very short period of time, Citi Field was built, Yankee Stadium was built, Barclays Center was built, Madison Square Garden got rejuvenated,
Right.
Prudential Center was built, even UBS a few years later was built. We had this rush of new arenas and stadiums in our area, and they're all like pretty much beloved. Like everyone loves all of those places, or at least they get really good reviews. And then you had that.
Right.
It just didn't fit the renaissance that our city and area was facing with these beautiful new stadiums and arenas. It's like, what doesn't belong? And it was that one.
That is, without a shadow of a doubt, accurate. It's the worst of all the new stadiums. You're right.
Thank you. I've made a lot of good points today.
You've rallied in the last hour, Evan. I got to give you that.
Did I have a tough beginning to the show with points?
Yeah, you might have had a better beginning, and I had a rough beginning, and I was blaming you. But you had a good last hour.
I rallied strong. Well, if you want to check out the beginning of the show to see if Sean was right, that I had a lot of bad points, you can always rewind it on the Odyssey app, or you can consume the entire show on the WFAN YouTube page, or you could download the Evan and Tiki podcast. So there's a lot of options to see if that really was the case on today's program. But there was a lot of stuff you may have missed, including our official predictions for all the head coaching vacancies, as well as Tiki's premonition that Mike Tomlin is done in Pittsburgh. Not because of the Steelers, but because of Mike Tomlin. So I advise you to rewind on the Odyssey app if you've missed any part of the program. We are back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Coming up next,